Hi there, it's your second favorite DP right here, okay? No, that's Deadpool, you silly little Hufflepuff. Anyways, I'm gonna need you to shut up that pretty little mouth of yours and pay attention because the show's about to start, alright? And, I don't know about you, but I know who's my vote for sexiest ex-soldier turned pop culture show host. Alright, enough foreplay, let's get on with the show.
Every week's an epic feat. They shed light on what's the trend. When will the madness ever end? From movies to the latest shows, you never know how far they'll go. Come aboard and take the ride. Let's uncover what's inside. Warriors of the night, here to fight. Pop culture explosions in the spotlight. Tune in for laughter and some cheers. Legends rising through the years.
Hey, everybody, welcome, one and all. Today is April the 15th. Happy Tax Day. No, very sad tax day. Very, very sad tax day. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Pop Culture Warrior. This is episode 201 of Pop Culture Warrior. It's the show where I stay up to date on all the ins and outs of what happened in pop culture so you don't have to. I am, of course, CQ. I am the pop culture warrior, but I can't do this show alone. No, no, no. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for tonight's co-host, the man, the myth, the legend. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Angry Elf. The pop culture
Hello
czar.
there. Yeah.
The pop
Soon enough.
culture czar
Soon
himself.
enough. I will
What's up, buddy?
control it all soon enough.
I'll do it myself.
Fine, I'll do it myself.
There it
I don't
is.
know.
There it is. Oh man, happy tax day, buddy. How you doing?
Duh. Man, I had to spend. I owed taxes this year. This is the first time I owed taxes.
Welcome to the club, brother. Welcome to the club. About time.
It was scary. Like when I hit that button to pay my taxes, I felt like I did when I bought my house. Like,
You mean-
oh my God.
You,
what
you
did I
didn't feel like
do?
Batman? You didn't feel like Batman?
No, I
With all
didn't feel
his-
like Batman. God, I wish I was Batman with his. I would have just pulled out the back credit card and gone, whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Just pull out that wad of cash he keeps. Like, yeah, I should cover it. And just
Yeah.
throw it down.
Yep. Nope. He's not happy to see you. No, that's just his bat cash.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. First of all, I got to point out that I'm wearing one of the newly minted Pop Culture Warrior shirts. Now, here's the funny thing. In person, it is pixelated. It is very pixelated. But for whatever reason, the camera's doing its magic and it looks perfect on screen. But the image, like in person, it's very pixelated. And it says buffering since 2020. So, I mean, come on, it's funny. Let's see if I get close to the screen. You still can't tell. It's very pixelated. It's very pixelated, but it's better in person. It looks better in person. But yes, you can find it over at PCWgear.shop. SHOP. PCWgear.shop. That's where all the new merch is. And we also have WTF Moments is putting up their merch thing too. So go check that out as you see fit.
Ooh, does that mean the real King Smith will have merch?
He actually, so he does. Yes, the answer is yes. It will eventually have. I think the vision, as I've been instructed by our Lord and Savior, I think the vision is that like right now it's just WTF Moment stuff. It's just WTF Nation Radio stuff, like like Listener or whatever. But that as it expands, it'll have host shirts, like it'll have Pop Culture Warrior shirts. It'll have each show, each host, so that it'll fill out the brand. But as of now, you can go to PCWgear.shop if you want to grab your stuff.
I want to see King's guide to crypto.
Yes, we get this stuff. Also, for those that haven't noticed, the newest addition to the Wall of Weird is the actual from the, no, I'm just kidding, the replica of the Green Goblin mask from the original Spider-Man movie, the Tobey Maguire, Willem Dafoe's with pumpkin bomb, with functioning pumpkin bomb and everything. It's pretty cool.
Can the spider come out and play?
Yes, bring me Spider-Man as best as he can. It was my understanding there would be giveaways. I don't know who told you that.
Me. We ain't giving away shit.
Here, let's zoom in the camera a bit. There
It
we
was
go.
like 2 shows ago. Maybe it was last show. CQ told you to DM him if you want stuff.
Yeah,
He'll
man.
just start sending it to you. No more giveaways. You just gotta DM him on his
Let's
pop culture.
pump the brakes there, buddy. Let's pump the brakes there with no more giveaways. Just DM me. Anyway.
Send me everything. I'll pay shipping.
Catch this next emoji, CQ. I don't want to know what the next emoji coming is. I'm not doing it so you can clip it and put it on the internet, you weirdo. All right. How functioning we talking? It lights and sounds. Am I able to reach it? It's a little out of reach for me, but it lights up, it sounds, it does the little beep, 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 beep kind of thing, and it's cute. It's fun. gonna use it for a Halloween. Oh, I just spoiled my Halloween costume.
Still time, and you're just like, every other kid. You'll go through like 4 different, "Well, I'm gonna be this, I'm gonna be that," and then on Halloween, you're just wearing a bed sheet over your head with the eyes cut out.
Wow, that's what we're going with. I
That
know
was
what you
meant
were
as a
implying,
ghost.
but that
No, that was
just
meant as a ghost. Oh
yeah,
my gosh, get
yeah.
your head out. No.
I'm sure it was. Ugh. Eek.
And
Okay. Oh,
I've been canceled.
and he's canceled. Um. So, hey Tom, what's going up? Hey Keith, how you guys doing? What up, Billy? Billy in the chats, everybody. What's up? Um, just goofing off. I was, if you missed it, I got the new Green Goblin mask head in the background, and hey, what's up, Pete? How you doing, bud? Everybody's tuning in tonight. I love it. Very excited. There are things that we are on the precipice for that I cannot talk about yet. But things that I've been working on for a while, things that have been in the process for a while. Hey, Zoltan in the chats. What up, Zoltan? I like that. I like that.
Zoltan.
Zoltan, give me a fortune. Tell me my future, because I need to know. I need to know. But yeah, there's some things that have been cooking for a minute that are right. I mean, like we're in the final seconds. Like any day now, we'll be able to announce. We'll be able to talk about it. A lot of stuff we've been doing in the backgrounds. If it seems like I haven't been doing a lot of interviews and things like that, or keeping up with the social media, it's because behind the scenes I've been, it's flying fast and furious. So very soon, very soon, we should be able to talk about what's going on. Elwin, what's up, man? Shout out, Elwin. How you doing, bro? So yeah, so that's exciting. It's big news for me, big news for us, big news for the station, big news for everybody, the fans, the viewers. Very excited for what this means for everybody. So I'm very excited. What else? Tonight's the final episode of Daredevil. Final episode, season 2. Season 3 is already being shot. No, season 1, season 2. Yes.
Season 2 is being shot right now.
Yes. Season 2 is being filmed in the streets of New York City as we speak. So, Billy, good callback. He's like, "Are we finally publishing the Special Ops Finger Book?" That was put to the back. It's not dead. It's been put to the back burner. It's gonna happen. It's as this stuff in the front settles down. That is gonna come out of the back, and
We need an artist.
fuck that. I got AI, man. Who needs an artist? ChatGPT.
Okay.
No,
I
I
mean-
will absolutely recruit some artists that want to get down on it. I mean, we obviously have a very good friend, the guy who created my logo, the Pop Culture Warrior logo, the CQ brand logo. Good friend of the show, Matt Baker. Is it Matt? Yeah, Matt Baker. Why am I suddenly thinking it's a different name? Yeah, it's Matt Baker. Anyway, the guy behind fucking Private Murphy. Jesus Christ. Matt Barker. Barker?
yeah.
Baker. Barker? Baker. I don't know.
his real name. I know Private Murphy.
Yes, the visionary behind Private Murphy. God, why am I drawing a complete blank? Matt Baker. Mark
You're getting old, unfortunately.
Mark Baker. Jesus Christ. My brain is so scattered to the wind. Mark Baker, good friend of the show, good friend of mine. Who knows? Maybe I get him to illustrate, something like that. Got to pay him for something like that. So I don't know. Maybe we do a Kickstarter or something, whatever. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Barlow. Oh, Pete Barlow. He's another one. Yeah, Pete Barlow's another guy that's he does God, what's the other fucking webtoon called? God, it's the one with the fat the fat like
Um,
fuck.
shit.
I like it's I'm
Yeah,
trying. Why is it when you're on the spot is when you can't think of
you can't
anything?
remember anything.
Uh,
Um, not Private Murphy, not
it's
uh, uh
Drill Sergeant High, something like that.
no,
No,
that's Drill Sergeant High is freaking Angry Cops.
Angry Cops. Right, right. So his
Um,
is God. Why can't
GI Low.
GI Low? God damn it, man!
Yep,
I'm
GI
drawing
Low. God,
blanks everywhere.
GI dude, GI Low's been killing it.
Oh yeah,
Especially with those storylines, those crossovers
the
with Private
crossovers.
Murphy.
Yep, yep, yep. Yeah, they're good buddies, man. And yeah, who knows? Maybe I'll get him involved. Like it's gonna happen. Like that's I'm putting my foot down. Scott says it's not dead. It's just indefinitely postponed. No, it is. You could say it's postponed, not indefinitely. You can just say it's postponed.
Just like CQ's remake of Back to the Future. You know, him as Marty
Hey,
McFly.
hey, hey, hey. That is indefinitely postponed. Insomniac said, what? No Mike today? I feel like I picked up the veggie omelet.
Whoa,
Listen.
whoa,
Listen.
whoa!
Hey, hey.
Fire!
Hey, watch what
Veggie
you
omelet.
say. You're talking to me all wrong. What you saying over here? Hey. Uh, let's see. But yeah, dude. Oh man, a lot of stuff's been going on. I don't know what's up, but there's been a lot of announcements, a lot of trailers are dropping. I'm guessing it's because we're getting into the summer swing of things, right? We're getting into that
Well,
summer blockbuster window.
CinemaCon just that and CinemaCon just happened. Like
That's true.
what was it? A week and a half ago?
Yeah,
Two
yeah,
weeks
yeah.
ago?
Yep.
So
So
that's yeah,
still a
that's
lot, still a lot coming off of
like
that. I mean, like
are you still on your embargo with stuff associated with Thunderbolts?
meaning that like I won't watch trailers and stuff.
Yeah. Promotional
I
material?
Yeah, I just I'm seeing stuff come out about it. I'm being very diligent not to like watch clips and stuff, but like I know they did that vignette about what's her name? Florence
Florence Pugh?
Pugh, about her doing the jump off the building. I saw
Yeah.
that little vignette that they did about that, which is pretty cool. I mean, the fact that
Oh yeah,
she
that was
did it,
I
God, I
I like that
fucking love
little
it.
when they did the 2 minute or whatever it was 90-second clip where she's like, maybe there's something broken in my life or maybe something broken with me or maybe I'm just bored and she just jumps off the building. That's all right. I'll if we get scenes like that and scenes like the macaroni scene from Hawkeye, um, I'll be happy with that character.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's probably one of the best things to come out post Endgame in the Marvel universe. In my humblest of opinions. Um,
Her and I liked John Walker from Falcon and Winter
really,
Soldier.
U.S. agent, huh?
Yeah, I well, I
Hmm.
no, I well, not yeah. The fact that you see the downfall of him, and
Hmm.
then obviously at the end you see him. He's basically U.S. agent.
Yeah.
Um, and then because I'm interested, I would be interested to see him in a. He would have been cool to see. I get it. They saved him for Thunderbolts, but it would have been nice to see him kind of pop in Captain America 4.
Yeah, I mean, we got to see where he's at and what he's doing. And
True.
they already had too many cameos in that movie as it is. In fact, that they
True.
cut some of them. They cut like it was like Seth Rollins, the wrestler, was in it, and a bunch of other things.
Oh,
So
that's
they,
right. Yeah, I remember hearing about that. I think that was partly because of tone and direction of the story. But
yeah.
yeah,
Well, that's also when they brought out they kicked him out and then brought in fucking Giancarlo Esposito, which I'm like,
yeah,
Seth Rollins, Giancarlo. I mean, again, he didn't really do
I'll
much
take
for the
Giancarlo
role,
any day.
but he is the bigger name. Uh, mm, let's see what else. Man, there's so much murder. In fact, funny enough, somebody just mentioned. First of all, let me get to the comments because I'm doing two things at once. I'm like looking over my show notes and the comments. Corey, sup ladies? Yeah, what's up, man? Zoltan, I guess gave me my fortune. You will simply discover the sock was never missing. It simply quit. Zoltan.
Uh-huh.
I like that. Thank you. Thank you. You get do up one for Angry Elf, man. Let's know what his future pertains. Let's see. He's canceling movie making. Nah. That's Inzoi game. That's basically more risk. Oh yeah. The Inzoi. It's a game that is basically more realistic Sims. Sold more than 1 million copies in the week. Yeah, man. I don't know if you've seen that. A lot of creators are all over it, and it does like the facial capturing. So like as you talk, it talks and winks and sticks out its tongue and like all these
Yeah.
crazy things. So yeah, I mean it's is it the next big thing? I don't think so. Is it gonna be a trendy, cool thing to mess around with and then kind of fade into obscurity? I think that's the
Yep.
way it's gonna go. Few things are like catapulted into uh, pop culture and the current trends that stick around, right? That last. Shit that indie game that had just came out, usually Schedule 1 or Schedule A, something like that. It's this game where you're basically selling drugs. Like it's the Breaking Bad simulator. Like you make
Oh, right.
meth and
No, I didn't see
drugs.
that, but that's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, it's like it was everybody's playing it, raving about it, huge reviews. But that was like a week, and then it just like up in smoke, it was gone. In a puff of
Yeah.
smoke, it was gone. But they say that Marvel Rivals was super hot for a minute, and then this, and now this one. I just think it's I think it's a thing where now more than ever, with so many people doing content and trying to capture people's attention, you've got
Yeah.
like the diehards who are like, I play Call of Duty. That's what I stream 8 hours a day, every day. You watch me because I play
Mhm.
Call of Duty. I think for almost everybody else that isn't known for a specific game, they just kind of jump from game to like whatever's hot this week, game to game to game to game
Yeah.
to game. So I do think that this sim-ish kind of game is just kind of the next popular thing, and we'll be on to something else here very shortly. In
Yeah.
fact, funny that I should mention it. I'm on a new game. Remember a couple of weeks ago, I was playing what was it, Balatro, which was last year's game of the year. A
Yep.
game just dropped that I'm playing and I'm currently addicted to. It is called Blue Prince. If anybody out there has played it or has tried it, let me know. On Game Pass, it's free. So you know me, I love my free Game Pass games. But Blue Prince just dropped. It is something. It's hard to categorize it. It is a game where you are exploring a mansion,
Yeah.
and every room you go into is a surprise, and it resets every day. So you have it's so weird to explain without playing it, but basically you're trying to uncover the mystery of this mansion, and
Right.
you only have so much, let's say, energy in a given day. You can only explore for so
Mhm.
long before you're like, I'm so tired, I'm gonna go to bed. But at night, all the rooms reset. I don't know if it's magical, I don't know if it's mechanical, whatever. But the point is, like, so literally you walk in the foyer, it's the same foyer every
Yep.
day. There's always 3 doors, one left, one right, one forward. But when you open those doors every day, it's a different room. And so like, it could
Mhm.
be a hallway, it could be a bedroom, it could be a fucking walk-in freezer, it could be an aquarium. Like, it's crazy. It's wild. And you're just trying to uncover. It's almost like the video game version of an escape room, right? Like there's these
Right.
mysteries and puzzles, And some of them it's just a hallway, but some of them it's like a room, and then there's like a fucking periodic table puzzle, and then another one, dude, it's wild. It's wild. I fucking love it because I love puzzles. I love mysteries. I love uncovering the secrets. And yeah, and it's just one of those games. So you're not killing anybody, you're not shooting anybody, you're not driving anything. It's just exploration and puzzle solving, and I fucking love it. So highly recommend Blueprints if you play games. Insomniac said you should stream that game. You know what?
What?
That's not a bad idea. It's
What?
hey, see, Blueprints. Yeah, it's something he said. Blueprints is such a freaking hard puzzle game. It is hard. It is very, very hard. And like I went into it going like the easy thing is nowadays you could just pull up your internet and be like, how to figure out this puzzle. And I was like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna figure this shit out. I'm a grown ass man who can figure shit out. Video game puzzles. So I went in it, but because of that, it is fucking hard. It is really hard because you're constantly balancing. Like, okay, you have only so much energy to explore. Certain doors will require keys. So like you get one key, it'll open any locked door. So it's like, do you open that locked door or do you open that locked door? And you only have a certain amount of keys you can find, and then in some of them, a room might have a blackout, and then you got to go find a junction box to like flip it, and like it's all these things, and you're juggling. You can get tokens to like it has little mini shops that you can buy tools and things. So yeah, it's tough. It's really fucking tough. It's this generation's Myst. I like that. Yeah.
Is it one or two words? Blueprints.
2 words. Blue, the color blue, the word prints. Blueprints.
All right. I mean, while you've been describing, I've been trying to find it and kind of get a glimpse of it, but
Yeah.
alas,
It
I haven't
should
been able
not
to
be that
find it.
hard. I've seen a ton of creators playing it right now. Like it
Well,
just
there's
dropped, I think,
Blueprints.
yesterday.
Okay, because there's a 1982 game, and then there's a board game, and
Man, what kind of search engine do you got? I just put in Blueprints into Google. It's the first thing. It's the first thing that pops up.
well,
Like
I don't know
Prince,
what to
like
tell you.
royalty, not like Prince, like I don't know, the guy. I don't know. Not yeah. See that Insomniac got it. Blueprints, kind of like building a house. Blueprints, but it's
Yeah, no, I got that.
Prince.
But Prince, as in royalty. Now, once you said that, now I found it.
There you
It
go.
popped up. I was
There you go.
doing blueprints, like
Like a house.
and the way you're describing it, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this makes sense.
Yeah.
The house changes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
well, cool.
Yeah. It's great. Let's see. Looking through the chats, I've been seeing everyone on social media's YouTube polls asking about the Harry Potter casting of a black guy as Snape. 60% don't like, always 5% who do, and 30% who don't care. Yeah, we'll talk about the Harry Potter thing in a second. I actually have that, and I was going to talk about that. Corey says, I wanted to tell you, CQ, some public broadcasting claims he's into pop culture. It's like, dude, must be watching WTF radio. Some public broadcasting claims is into pop culture. I'm like, dude, must be watching WTF radio. I must have missed the connection on that one. That's my bad. I have no idea what you're talking about. Schedule 1 is getting sued by people who made Drug Dealer Simulator. That's stupid. Yeah, I heard about that. It's dumb. That's like saying any shooting game, open world shooting game, is gonna sue fucking Grand Theft Auto, or Grand Theft Auto would sue any open world shooting game. It's a game you deal drugs. Like, yeah, that's a genre. You don't own a genre.
No, that's like GTA suing anybody that has race car driving or anybody that
Yeah.
shoots or commits crimes.
Exactly. There's a game that's just relaxing me, and a game I'll play 10 years from now. Okay, and Sabi says, I've been playing Drive Beyond Horizons. I try to get into driving games. I really do. I really do, but it can only hold my attention for so long. That's the truth. Like, I'll play it for like a day, 2 days, a week at the most, and then
Right.
it doesn't have enough variety for me. So yeah, it's
It's those repetitive, like, shoot, I used to driving games. I no, I in fact, like, Batman was
yeah,
Arkham Knight when it had
hmm
the Batmobile levels.
yeah.
Especially this timed ones fighting the Riddler. I was like, oh, forget this. But I was never a big driving racing
Yeah,
game guy.
yeah.
Um,
Like I can get behind the simulator stuff. Like when I went to E3, bro, they had this like $20,000 simulator, right? You get into it, and
mhm.
man, like it, it was so real. Like the shit was like the seat moved and it had actuators.
Huh,
So like you're leading, you feel like the G force as you're going into turns and
yeah.
like it was fucking sick. So I'm like I could get that. Or like I've seen the one where like some dude built basically, remember the those cages you would hold on and they would spin you in every direction? He basically
Yeah.
built a flying simulator version of that. So like he could do barrel rolls and shit in his simulator,
Well,
flight simulator.
I haven't seen him go to that degree, but I've seen people build the sim pits, the flight pits,
Yeah.
and it looks like a cockpit of a fighter jet. And they're doing that, playing that game. Was it DCS? And some people even go the next step and get the VR goggles. I saw one dude. This was recently. He's got a Maverick helmet, right, with the VR goggles attached to the helmet, and then when he puts it on, and in the cockpit there are rear view mirrors, right? Well,
Yeah.
the mirrors are reflecting that he's wearing Maverick's helmet, and I'm like, all right, that I mean that's cool,
Yeah.
but that looks expensive,
Oh yeah.
and I would have to be playing that game like daily for me to put that type of coin into it.
And like and now there's this kind of sweet spot of reality versus price in
Yeah.
where I've seen guys you can buy like broken old discarded like panels, like flight panels. You
Mhm.
don't need to make it work because you just add the VR so that you physically feel yourself flipping the buttons and switches and the
Oh
VR
yeah, yeah.
makes it real to you in your headset. Which I'm like, that's dope. I'd rather, instead of spending like $800 on some fucking Logitech fake simulator, get the VR goggles, get a real fucking discarded, thing, and then you're just like boop, boop, firing missiles and
You,
shit. So yeah.
you know what I want? I just want Ace Combat, what, 8?
Yeah, we're
S-
way overdue for that.
You know, in fact, I fired Ace Combat or whatever the last one was. It 7,
I think it was 7, yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, I fired that up over the weekend just because I was like, "Ooh, I want to fly something and shoot." And I forgot how cool it is because
It's so
you have
good.
basically like 200 missiles on your airplane.
Like most nowadays.
Yeah, I
Re-
want to play DCS.
resetting missiles, that restocking missile thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I'm a, yeah, and I'll tell you this: whatever they do with Ace Combat 8, they better bring in some like Top Gun Maverick, or do something like they do with
The Tom Clancy
was it
one.
like Mortal Kombat, where they bring in like they should do an Iron Eagle skin, a couple
Do
other,
like
get all these
DLCs,
licensed.
licensed
Yeah,
DLC. Yeah.
get some missions. Hear Chappie in the background. You can do it.
Barrel roll, barrel roll. Freaking Star Fox, remember? Oh, way back in the day, Star Fox 64. Do a barrel roll. Speaking of, and I don't think he's here. He was here earlier. King Smith, if you're out there, say hi. He was here earlier. I just got to rub it in. Last year, for my 40th birthday, we did a bunch of things. One of the things we did was we went to a real flight simulator. Like they have the front of an aircraft. You climb
Hmm.
in, it is a full simulator. This is what like pilots actually train on.
Right.
And we had a little competition. We figured, who can take off better, who can land better, who can fly the plane better. And, he might be an Air Force veteran with hundreds of hours of flight, blah, 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 blah. But you know what? At the end of the day, I ranked better as a pilot from an actual pilot. They actually show you the scores, like how you held the plane level and how you landed, like the softness of the landing and the approach and all this and all that. And the guy had to talk me through it, right? He had to be like, all right, flip this, put that, set it to this, do that, ease her down. But I landed that bitch like a pro. And it was, I remember, because landed in Vegas at night is where I landed down. So I was like, yeah, man, that's what's up. If you ever need a pilot, holla at your boy. You can walk me through it.
But Kate Smith sat in the back of the airplane dispensing fuel, not,
Yeah,
in
pretty
the
much.
cockpit.
Yeah. So I told when we were doing, I was like, you know why? I know why you're struggling, because you gotta turn around, and that'll be much more familiar to you. Try to fly it from backwards, because he's used to facing the other way. All right, let's see what does the chat say. Hate driving games. Yeah, I know. I feel you. New Omnimusha's coming. Ooh, that'll be crazy. Fun fact from Zoltan: the owners of Candy Crush actually trademarked the word candy, so no other mobile games are allowed to have the candy in their title. That's interesting. I'm going to take your word for it because I don't know that for a fact.
Right.
I find that hard to believe, though. Like, can you trade? Like, if I'm going to trademark ice cream. That way nobody can put ice cream on their stuff. Like, that just seems weird.
You
Scott
should
says,
trademark the letters C and Q, and then no one can use those.
yep, that's right. In 2040, we're going to have people climbing up the F-22, F-30 scaled replica and doing VR. Yeah. Yes. Michael says, if you like back pain, bad hours, and good pay, join spadanow.com. Yeah, let's do that. Join Spadanow. I don't know what that is. Ace Combat 7 has a Top Gun download that is free. Did you know that, Angry Elf?
Yeah, I haven't. I've played all that stuff. I need the next level. Like the next
I need
thing.
the sequel.
Sure.
I need the sequel.
Yeah, in fact, that's how I ended up playing Ace Combat 7, was after that movie came out, and that game had already been out by that point for like 3 years, maybe even more. But by that but yeah, and then I binged through that game because, I wanted to be Maverick. In fact, they've got a level in the game that's almost similar to the quote unquote
Oh, the
trench run
mission
that they run through. Yeah. And it's not
when
the
they
same,
attack
and
the
obviously
star.
the game
When they,
came.
I was gonna say, when they attack the fucking Death Star, they run, fire the
Yes.
missiles in the porthole. That's all it
Yes.
is. It's just the scene from Death Star.
We don't make any illusions that
That's
this
all
was
it
not
is.
a homage, a ripoff, whatever you want to call it, to Star Wars.
I bet you they just reskinned a lot of the episodes, a lot of the old footage. They just reskinned it, and boom, it was done. Hey, let's do a quick. I'm gonna do a quick, like a lightning round of news that came out in the last week, and we'll talk about. We'll do like we're gonna do like a 30 seconds on the clock, quick spin of news. But the writers of Happy Death Day revealed that Happy Death Day Part 3 is now moving forward. How excited are we for Happy Death Day? I was surprised. I was surprised, that it wasn't horrible. It was watchable. It wasn't, not my favorite movie ever, but it was not terrible. Not terrible. Let's see. Thoughts on Happy Death Day 3? Are you excited? Excited? Could see it in your face.
I'm I'm excited.
The Minecraft movie has already passed 400 million worldwide, and that was like 5 days ago. It was April. It was like 3 days ago. The Minecraft movie already passed 400 And Sammy said, there was a part 2? Yes, there was a Happy Death Day part 2. But yeah, Minecraft movie has already surpassed 400 million worldwide. And shocker, has already been greenlit for a sequel. So we'll be getting Minecraft 2. Minecraft
Or
and
Steve,
harder. Like, what would you call Minecraft 2? Return to the Nether. Minecraft 2.
perhaps.
Minecraft harder. Mine harder. Mine harder, craft harder. More mine, more craft. Which will go with like the Fast and Furious naming convention. Let's
Yeah.
see. And who knows who's gonna return. Look, I saw the movie. It wasn't terrible. I laughed at a couple moments. There was some, it's made for kids, which you got to take that into account. Although I will say, not pointing fingers, but like 3 of the main cast could have been removed from that movie and it wouldn't be different in the slightest. So I wasn't
Right.
sure why they had some of the people they had. Minecraftier. That's good. I like that. Another one. I'd love to take you're like king of the 80s. So I'd love to take your take on this. Beetlejuice
Yeah.
3 is officially in the works. Thoughts on Beetlejuice 3?
The only reason I'm here for it is because the title naming convention, it has to be completed. Like you had Beetlejuice, and then Beetlejuice, and then Beetlejuice. Now, what I want to see is, okay, it's kind of, I think they've done that storyline to death. I want to hear, or rather, excuse me, I want to see what the original pitch of the sequel, which was right after the first movie, Beetlejuice Goes to Hawaii.
Yeah.
I want to see something on that.
You want like
Um,
a Weekend at Bernie's kind of Beetlejuice movie.
yeah, well, that was the they had a sequel that was all done up, and then it just, how life goes in Hollywood, it just kind of fell through and
Yeah.
went to development hell.
Well,
Tim
Michael Keaton was
Burton,
very
is,
busy at that time too. He had a lot going for
yeah,
him.
yep. So I would like to see, don't give me another, trying to marry Lydia thing. If that's the case, then I'm just gonna be like, I'll pass. But dude, I was here for Beetlejuice. I loved it. Um,
I've got to say, I watched Beetlejuice, and very little of it I can remember. Like, of the things I remember was Danny DeVito's one scene.
yeah,
Uh, Willem Dafoe overacting in every scene he's in. And
yeah.
I that's really it, man. Like that, I don't know. The movie just didn't stick for me. It didn't hit the way the original. Like I can remember. Obviously, we've all seen the original like 100 times,
Yeah.
but yeah, man. I don't know. It just didn't. The jokes
They,
didn't land. Uh, mm,
part of it has to do with the fact that it's 30 plus years
mhm.
after the original came out, and it's almost like the only reason we got anything probably with it is Jenna Ortega.
Yeah.
You know, that, I'll be honest with you. Well, she hit it off with Wednesday. I guarantee you that it was on the set of Wednesday because, Tim Burton did that show for Netflix. She
Hmm.
was Wednesday. They had a conversation, and next thing you know, and there's been enough time for them to freaking kind of like, well, we have this Beetlejuice script. You want to do it, Jenna? Yeah, sure, I'll do it. And bada bing, bada boom, here we go. We got Beetlejuice too.
Yeah.
I'll go see it. Beetlejuice is one of my faves. I'll go see it.
It is what it
Yep.
is. It is what it is. What else? Oh, let's see. In some way, it says, doesn't Michael Keaton have throat cancer? No, I don't believe he does.
That was Val Kilmer.
Yeah, Val Kilmer did. Yeah, he died from it. Well, he
Yep.
died from, I think it was like pneumonia, but as a result of throat
Yeah,
cancer.
yeah.
Uh, see, Keith says, hope it is not as disappointing as the last movie. That's what I'm saying. It just didn't
It,
hit. It just didn't hit.
it, it, I thought it had some good points, but I'm not saying it's better than the original. That's for certain.
I I don't think it holds a candle to the original. Like I don't even think it's in the
Yeah.
same ballpark. Like it's by no means is it the worst sequel. Like so if there's a sliding scale and we say like Top Gun Maverick being, any sequel that's 10 plus years from the original,
Mhm.
Top Gun Maverick might be the bar, set the high standard for old remake or trilogizing. Um, this has got to be somewhere in the middle, as far
Yeah.
as like it kind of like this is what worries me about when they're like, yeah, we're redoing Goonies and all these other
Mhm.
stuff. It's like, do you have to like just let it?
Yeah.
Imagine they're like, yeah, we're gonna do 17 Candles, John Hughes sequel, and you're like,
Yeah.
why?
Well, it's like the fact that they're doing the rumors are the Top Gun 3's coming. And it's like, I mean, you caught lightning in the bottle
Yeah,
with Top
let it
Gun
go,
Maverick.
let it
Yeah,
go.
exactly.
Yep.
You know,
uh I will say, this because I think it falls into the category of it's technically a sequel while still being an original story. They've talked about making a live action Ronin, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin, which is a
yeah.
phenomenal story.
Yep.
And even a lot of people are calling for Judith Hoag, who was the original April O'Neil in the first movie, to
Mhm.
come back and play old April O'Neil, which I think she still looks incredible. So they'll have to ugify her a bit, because in the comics she's like old and scarred and whatever.
Yeah.
But I think that could work because it's a story that is. I mean, I was gonna say it's a story that was made, 30 years later, but so is all these other ones. But I don't know. I just feel like that could work because you can be gritty. You can be. Um, it doesn't have to emulate so much of the original, right? Where I feel like Beetlejuice was kind of forced into this box of like, well, we got to
Yeah.
do this, we got to show a sandworm, he's got to do this, he's got to like, and
Yeah.
it's
But
just it's predictable.
something like The Last Ronin is so far removed from the original material
Mhm.
that even if you put Judith Hogan in there, it doesn't matter because okay, she's playing April in it. It's like
Might as well be a whole different
okay,
character. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Because one, the Ronin, spoiler alert, that's so far removed from being Michelangelo that
Mhm.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And the other three brothers aren't in it. Uh, I mean, except for being ghosts or they do the flashbacks, depending on how far they go with this story or which
Mhm.
direction they go with the story, and so there's barely any of the original characters in it. There's those that survived. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. The story is you could go off and there's so much potential, especially if they do it right, it leads
I
into
hope they
essentially
do.
the next generation.
I hope they
So
do. I hope they do.
I think
Uh
hon- honestly, I would almost go with a something like a Netflix show, you know?
yeah. Um I just think the money that it would require to do that right is
Mhm.
outside of the budget of what Netflix is going to put up for it. And then it also
And
goes to like licensing and who has the rights to the turtles and all that stuff. Like there's, I think
it's Paramount.
I
Paramount
was going to say it's Paramount.
Paramount has the Turtles right now.
Yeah. And
Um,
Paramount's not going to give it to Netflix and Paramount's not going to put the kind of money into making it a
no,
Paramount Plus show. Um
no.
So I think the game's coming out. We know that they're making like a really good game, and I guarantee you, somewhere on some desk is the treatment for live action, the Last Ronin. And it'll,
That's on my desk. It's right here.
yeah, it's right. I got it right here. I got it. I think I have a book of it somewhere around. Uh,
It's only 2 pages. They're still working on it, but it's.
Michelangelo
I
beats
know
the
it's fine. I have
shit.
the comic over there.
beats the shit out of everybody. Dies repeatedly. And always comes back. Yeah, he's like the Terminator of turtles. Let's see what else. Godzilla versus Kong 3 has begun filming. Again, I'm going to echo somebody's comments. There was a second one. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it was actually pretty good. In fact, it came out approximately a year ago. Came out the weekend after Ghostbusters Frozen Empire came out. I took my daughter to see both movies, and when we walked out of what was it called? New Empire, Kong
Mm,
versus Godzilla, New Empire. My daughter and I said, "Wow, that was better than Ghostbusters Afterlife." And we're both like big Ghostbusters fans. We both liked. She's huge. My daughter's huge into Godzilla right now.
yeah. I That's surprising to hear. Because I saw the first one. I saw because there was a bunch of movies that led up to it, both Godzilla and
Mhm.
Kong, and then I saw the first because it was like the moment you've all waited for, the fucking
Yeah.
match of this, and it was very underwhelming. I was like, a couple good scenes in it, but the story, they killed Bryan Cranston like in the first 5 minutes of the movie, which they used him in all the publicity and markup and
Mhm.
marketing leading up to it. I'm like, what a fucking bait and switch. And it lost me after that. And then, so I think when the second one came out, I was just like, this ain't for me. But it's surprising to hear that that was a good one.
Well, plus they have that Apple Plus show, Monarch,
Monarch. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that is. I think they're working on season 2 right now, and it's oh gosh darn it, Wyatt Russell and
Hmm.
Kurt Russell. That's the thing I like about the show. Wyatt Russell and his dad play the same character.
Just many
Wyatt
years
plays
apart. Yeah.
him, yeah, in the past, and Kurt plays him in present day. That's like one of those things. It's like, dude, that's trippy.
Yeah. Which is funny because it's the son playing the father and the father who's playing the son, which is funny in,
Yeah.
timeline universe nonsense. What else? Speaking of the Minecraft movie, I found this interesting. It had the fourth biggest opening ever for a PG movie.
That's cool.
So yeah. I want to see uh, uh, highest grossing openings for a PG movie. Let's see. So, this is I could have guessed two of them. Could you want to take a stab? PG movies
Wow.
most made. Uh, One is from our
Mario,
time.
Mario. That's the only one I can think of. Super Mario Brothers from a couple years
No,
ago.
no, not on the top four. You've got the live action Lion King
Uh-huh.
as the highest opening of all time for PG movies at 191.7
Mhm.
million. Then, and I think this is well deserved, Incredibles 2. Incredibles 2 just behind him at 182.6 million.
Right.
And then this is the one that surprises me the most is the live action. Seeing a lot of commonality here. The live action Beauty and the Beast in 2017, third highest opening
Wow.
at 174, and then just behind that is a Minecraft movie, $162.7 million. Uh, 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 and I think that's domestically, because I think globally they made over 400 million. So, yeah, Inside Out was the high. It says in 2024, Inside Out 2 was the highest grossing PG movie in the US and Canada,
Mhm.
which I think that dropped down once, like when they calculate all the monies, because it was just in the
Right.
US that it was one of the higher ones. Anyway, Beauty and the Beast has a live action. Yes, it was starring what's her name? Hermione. Hermione was in it.
Yeah,
What's her fucking name?
Hermione. Hermione, the actress who plays Hermione.
The
That's
actress
the
who
name.
Emma, not Emma Stone.
Emma Watson.
Emma Watson. Emma Watson.
Yeah,
Yes, Emma Watson plays Belle. I thought she did a good job. I thought
yeah. I like that movie. My wife and I went and saw it when it came out. I remember that.
yeah. So yes, so there is that. Let's see. Ooh, for those that are fans of Avatar: The Last Airbender, the Netflix series, the live
Mhm.
action Netflix series, not the animated Netflix series or the abysmal live action movie that they came with a couple years back. Avatar: The Last Airbender season 2 is eyeing a early 2026 release. So if you're waiting for Last Airbender on Netflix, that's coming out early 2026. There is a biopic that is been picked up by Amazon MGM called I Play Rocky. It follows a young Sylvester Stallone and the dramatic journey it took to get Rocky made. Because, if we didn't, pat Sylvester Stallone on the back enough, we now have a biopic about him making a movie from like
Oh, he's
60 years
100%
ago.
behind this.
Obviously, because he hasn't had enough attention.
No, he doesn't get it.
Thanos was right. I love it.
Yep.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. I appreciate it. Uh, Peacemaker season 2 is set to premiere on Max August 21. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to that. Real
Yeah.
talk,
I would.
I fucking canceled my Max subscription because I was like, there's nothing to watch on here. And
Yeah.
now that The Last of Us season 2 is out and Peacemaker season 2 is coming, I'm like, I might have to get my
Well,
Max.
just wait till Peacemaker comes out because Last of Us won't go anywhere, and
Yeah.
then you can just binge watch both shows, and then you only pay for it for a month, or you luck
I
out and
get
maybe
those
you'll get a month
1 week
trial
trials.
subscription.
Watched all of it in like a week. Um,
Yeah.
I got a bone picked with Max and HBO just because of the shit
Yeah.
that they've been pulling lately. Like it was this whole Westworld thing where, they
Yeah.
had a great show. They fucked it up really bad and then like pulled it off the servers, which it's
Yeah.
like, that's crazy to me. Like this is content that you have that you're going to pull off the servers just cuz for whatever, who knows what was the real reason behind the scenes, whether it was a tax thing, whether it was they were just trying to piss off the creator. I don't know.
I forget why they. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
there's
That
there's
is
the
that.
reason, and then there's the real reason. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's the public reason and the real. I'm saying I wonder what the real reason is because I think it was just because they got into a fight with the creator and they're like, "Fuck you," and we're not going to put your work, like we own your work, and we're just going to throw it in the shit, in the can, and fucking no one will ever
Yeah.
see it again. Um, but no, they did that. Then they did that to. There was another show that I really liked called Made for Love, starring Christina
Mhm.
Milioti and that one dude that everybody wants to punch in the face because he plays it so well. Um, but I really like that. They did 2 seasons and then they canceled it, which fine. But then again, they shelved it. They took it off the network, which I'm like,
Yep.
why do that? Why do that? The fucking was it Acme versus the Coyote movie that they were doing a live action with the
Yep.
so many people involved with it said it was so good, that it was so good.
Yep.
Same thing with the Batgirl. Say what you will, but a lot of people that were on it and involved in it said it's really good. Like it's actually really
Yeah.
good. And you got fucking HBO and Warner Brothers and all that just like canning this stuff for money reasons.
What's his name? Zavlov. The guy that came over from Time Warner, or excuse me, from Time. Anyways, he's the guy that came over to fix Warner Brothers, and he's the one that's like, oh, tax write off this and tax write off that, and do all this crap. And I mean, yeah, I was interested in kind of seeing Batgirl, Coyote versus Acne, and maybe I would have watched it. but Disney's done the same thing. I mean, that Willow show that I mean,
Yeah.
I'll tell you this much. I didn't thoroughly enjoy it, but I watched it and I was wanted to see because it was rumored that if they went to a season 2, Val Kilmer was going to come back in some capacity, and do something similar to what he did with Top
Top
Gun
Gun.
Maverick with his
Yeah.
voice and all that stuff. And I was like, okay, let me see Mad Mardigan, and then maybe I'll. And but they're like, nope, it did so bad, tax write off, it's gone. You'll never see it again unless you somehow recorded it.
Yeah.
It it's
I
a
don't know.
slippery slope.
Yeah.
It's a slippery slope of streaming services. That's why, much to my some people's chagrin, I still collect physical media. If I like something enough, I will go get a physical copy of it because
They still make physical media? That's still a thing?
yeah, yeah. A couple weeks ago, I bought some movies. I own Beetlejuice. Um I own Deadpool and Wolverine. I actually own 2 copies of it because I wanted to get both steel books. What else did I buy? Recently repurchased Alf. I've purchased the A-Team.
I
All
can't
this stuff
talk
that
because every 5 years I get the next anniversary of Back to the Future. I have the 20th anniversary, the 25th
yeah,
anniversary, the 30th anniversary, the 35th anniversary.
yeah.
I just keep buying them because I
So
fucking love them.
I mean, I've got Back to the Future and no, I haven't repurchased it, but that's because there hasn't been any like real major updates. If they did something that was a massive update, I've got it on Blu-ray and I'm happy with my copy. But you know, I got a fair amount, and it's the thing of it is physical media is slowly going away. If you go into your big box stores, your Walmarts, your Target used to be a good place to pick up movies. Those are gone. They've only got so if yours Target has a clearance aisle, that's where they're at. They've got, LPs, because vinyl made a comeback, and that's about it.
Which is
Walmart
weird.
is the only one that still has physical media and puts it out as it releases.
Who could have predicted that that DVDs would go away and
Mhm.
LPs and vinyl would come back? Like, of all the things, that's just something I would have never predicted as
Yeah,
we move into the digital
it's
age.
just it's just the crazy part of how we how our nostalgia bait will because you just go look at some of these stores go look at the toy aisle. Not to toot my own damn horn, but go look at the toy aisle and go look at the properties that are hanging on the toy aisle. It's a lot of stuff from our childhood. You've got Star Wars still there. You got some form of Marvel stuff, either MCU or comic stuff. You've got GI Joe. You've got Transformers. I mean, and
Mhm.
I hate to say it, but a lot of that stuff's about to go away, unless I'm not trying to get political, but unless these tariffs, the toy industry, or at least the collectors industry, is gonna take a hit.
I mean, every industry, but yeah.
Hasbro's already said that they are the good. This is the only good thing I've heard. They're not going to raise the prices on children's toys, what they classify as children's toys,
Mhm.
but the stuff that they classify as the collector's stuff, that's where if they're forced to raise prices, that's where the price hikes going to go before they start raising prices on children's toys.
I got a great what if for you.
Sure.
You are a collector. You
Mhm.
collect all these things. And your argument is, oh, like, I can imagine your argument is, it's not a toy, it's a collectible. And then these tariffs hit and all the toys stay the same price, but the collector stuff, skyrockets, and the stuff that you go to get is still the same price. Are you like, maybe I am buying toys? Maybe
Oh
I'm
no,
not buying collector stuff?
no, I know exactly, and I know, and it's not the the small. They know what's the collector stuff.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah,
I'm just
no,
saying,
I
how would you feel if like you're like, oh, I'm gonna go get my collector stuff, and then all the prices are still low, and you're like, am I a collector or do I like
I
toys?
collect what you collect. Hey,
Yeah,
no one's here
I
to yuck
question
your
it.
yum.
I question it all the time. Where I'm like, am I a collector or do I just like toys? like, I mean,
I,
lightsabers and helmets and blasters and all types of props.
that's collector stuff. If it's the full, when you talk about helmet, if it covers your entire head and it makes lights and sounds, that's for a collector. If it just goes on the face and it's got an elastic strap that goes around the back of your head, that's a toy.
So, you know what's the difference? If it costs less than $60, it's a toy. If it costs more than $100, it's a collector's item. That's the
Yeah,
difference.
with that definitely, I was gonna say, if it's less than $20, it's a toy. If it's over $20, that's a collector's item.
Yeah, no, you're stretching that a little too far. You're stretching. There ain't no collector's items that's like 25, $30. Ain't no collector's items. Don't don't you give me not a collector's
On
item.
average, this is $25.
Not a collector's item. Again, I stake my claim, sir. I'll tell you what. Let's take a short break, 5 minutes or less. 'Cause I gotta pee, and then when we come back, we got lots more headlines to talk about, and we'll argue
You
over.
need a Gatorade bottle. You need a Gatorade bottle.
I've been drinking more water. Drink water. Hydrate.
I'm drinking water. I'm hydrated. I'll go pee.
All right, guys. We'll be right back with more show right after this.
Hey, you there? Yeah, it is right, you. Let me ask you something, right? Where the hell do you think that you're going? Oh, would you think because the show is going to commercial that means you get to just walk away? Well, CQ asked me to pass on the little message, alright? And it says, I'll be back.
In the shadows of the city bright, where heroes rise and take the fight, there's a voice that breaks the night. It's CQ with the insight. From the comics to the silver screens, talking legends and those crazy scenes, pop culture, dreams and hidden themes. CQ reveals what it all means. From the comics to the silver screens, talking legends and those crazy scenes, pop culture, dreams and hidden themes. CQ reveals what it all means. Pop culture warrior here to ignite, guiding through the tales of light. With CQ leading the charge so bright, we're ready for another flight. Pop culture warrior here to ignite, guiding through the tales of light. With CQ leading the charge so bright, we're ready for another flight. Marvel at the twists and turns, villains playing heroes learn. Every episode we'll discern lessons from the past to learn. Games we play and books we read, CQ's wisdom's what we need. Memories that make us bleed, together we will take the lead. Pop culture warrior here to ignite, guiding through the tales of light. With CQ leading the charge so bright, we're ready for another fight. Pop culture warrior here to ignite, guiding through the tales of light. With CQ leading the charge so bright, we're ready for another flight. shine so bright. We're ready for another flight. Pop culture warrior here to ignite. Guiding through the tales and light. We'll seek you leading the charge so bright. We're ready for another flight.
Hey, everybody, we're back. We're back. More show. I told you it was going to be a quick one. I just had to go tinkle winkle. Let's see. What else we got? Looking through my notes here. Michael Saronsky is set to direct the live-action Death Stranding movie for A24 and Hideo Kojima.
Oh yes.
Did you play Death Stranding? Because that was like a PS exclusive, right?
I did not. It was one of those games where like everybody was saying, "Oh, you gotta walk for forever doing this, and then walk forever doing that." And I was like, "Yeah, I got it. It's part of the gameplay." But I was
It's an
like,
infantry
"Yeah, I'm
simulator.
not. Yeah, I don't need that. I don't need that in my life."
Oh man, like you got to pick up brass as you're walking the hills, and
Yeah.
you know. Yeah, I mean it's supposedly a big deal, and I know Norman Reedus was obviously attached for the video game, and him and Hideo Kojima like go way back because apparently there was supposed to be a Silent Hill remake where he was going to be the protagonist in the game. And then that never came to fruition, and then they did Death Stranding, and so now it makes sense that it makes sense that Norman Reedus would be in it. It is on Xbox now. Oh shit, I didn't know it was on Xbox now. Look
Yeah,
at that.
it crossed over like a year ago, I want to say.
Ah, yeah, shows you what I know. Snow White, the movie that everybody's loving shitting on, crossed 160 million globally, which might sound like a lot, but is fucking peanuts when you consider that the production budget was about 270 million. That's not counting the
Marketing and
extensive marketing and publicity they were trying to dig out of that hole for a long time. Reshoots and constant delays, and so they are upside down on this film by a lot, and there are some speculating that this could be the nail in the coffin for live action remakes.
yeah,
I think good, because for live action remakes, I mean, which one was like so good that we're like, man, we had to have that, because Lion King was good,
Lion King was
Aladdin
good.
was, Beauty and the Beast
Well,
was,
it's yeah,
it was all right.
yeah. Aladdin, I think was the biggest problem wasn't Robin Williams didn't
Will
Robin Williams
Smith,
pass
yeah.
away by the
Oh yeah,
so
he was long dead, yeah, by then,
Then Will Smith comes in and tries to take over. I'm sorry, Will Smith cannot hold a candle to Robin Williams.
obviously. Um, I just there and by all means, anyone, fucking correct me if I'm wrong, but not like our audience needs permission. They do it all the time. I can't think of a live action remake where, again, outside of like Lion King, which that's animals. I hesitate to even call it a live action remake because it's all CGI'd animals.
Very true.
It might as well be the animated movie over again. It's just computer animated. Like the Jungle Book when they did that one. Yeah, you had like the one kid in it, but everybody else was just CGI
Yeah.
animals.
What was
Um,
it? Oh, it was the Little Mermaid when they did that one because they wanted
oof.
'cause the original was like 90 minutes and they wanted this live action remake. They did the same thing with Beauty and the Beast. They wanted it to be closer to 2 hours, so they extended some scenes and then they added additional material that wasn't in the original
Mhm.
movie, the animated movie. And it's kind of like okay.
Okay, so this is the problem with remakes, especially remakes of very old classic films.
Mhm,
You have to somehow please the diehards that love the original,
mhm,
while B, updating it for a modern audience, right? Our movie going tastes and things have changed in the
yeah,
last 30, 40 plus years. You have to be culturally sensitive, and there is, you could say the whole woke thing and PC thing, whatever. To
yeah.
an extent, I think that is a thing. I don't like, and this is going to sound some way I don't really intend it to, the whole race swapping thing.
Mhm.
It's not that I'm like, oh my God, a black person can't play Snow White. Is but that's like if I said, hey, we're gonna make a Pocahontas movie, and I got, you know, uh, uh, uh I don't know, a German chick to play Pocahontas, I think
Right.
people would be like, wow, that's pretty tone deaf, right? Because
Yep.
you're applying, you're taking away the cultural significance of that character in that role. So again, so something like Snow White, like the Little Mermaid thing, making Ariel black, couldn't care less because it's a fucking
Right.
mermaid. It's not real. You know what I mean? I don't give a shit. But like Snow White is based on a story from a specific point in time, from a specific place in time, and they were white people. It
Yep.
is what it is. It's not trying to push down, minorities. It's just that was a white story. It's literally called Snow White. Um,
Yeah.
you know, eh, the same way I wouldn't want to see Aladdin played by a bunch of white people. You know what I mean? Like that wouldn't make sense
Yeah.
because it's an Arabian story. Um, anyway, getting off track. Point being, it's damn near impossible, I think, to make a remake. The fact that they're doing like Moana as a live action, it's a
Yeah.
more recent movie, so you don't have to change a lot culturally or, PC wise. Like it was an accepted movie as it was. Now they're just playing live action. The Lilo and Stitch movie, live
I heard
action.
The Lilo and Stitch one has a potential to be really good, from what I understand.
And and again, I think because they're approaching it as it's a more recent film. I know Lilo and Stitch is at this point a little dated, but it was more recent.
Yeah.
It was one of those like I remember when the animated movie came out, it was one of those bit like, oh, it's a representation thing, right? Because it's about the Hawaiian
Mhm.
people and this and this and that. It wasn't the classic white person story or animal story. Um, and so I think that's the smarter thing to do. I don't think you should do the Cinderella story. I don't think, like, I mean, there was the whole Maleficent.
Yep.
That's a whole fucking, I, there's, oh my God. I'm going to get on my high horse for a second. A, don't
Go
remake
for it.
classics. Don't.
Nope.
B, don't take classic villains and then go, let's give them a backstory where they have heart and they're just misunderstood. Maleficent was a bad person. Don't make her a good guy who was forced to do bad things. Don't do that. The wicked of it, right? Everybody loves Wicked. I get it.
Yep.
But it's an attempt to make the Wicked Witch of the West into this, like, oh, it's not her fault. It's just she was misunderstood. And it's like, I don't care how catchy the songs are. It's like there are bad people, and there are bad people that do bad things for bad reasons. You don't have to turn everybody into this like reluctant villain. This it's what fucking Sony's doing to the Sinister Six, right? Making pussies
Yep.
out of
Yep.
Venom and Craven and Morbius, and like, while some of them, yes, Morbius is this tragic character because he wants to help people, but now he has to drink blood to survive. But just they pussify everybody, and it's oh god, I just there's
Yes.
just so much,
Yes.
man. That anyway, sorry. It's just, man, it's upsetting because there's so much potential for stories to. There's so many good ideas that go by the wayside because you know what we could do? That thing we already did, we could do that again.
Yep.
And it's like, do something new, do something different. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, it's when they do stuff like, for instance, you think about it, like how excited were you when The Matrix first came out?
Mm.
Or what's another good one that was that wasn't a sequel or a prequel or a remake? God, that's how bad it is when it takes you a solid like moment and you're like, I got nothing.
Mm.
Um, like, and what's bad is, you think about it. Oh, I'd be excited if they did this and turn this old property into a movie or a movie series or a franchise. And I'm like, but would it? You know, um,
Insomniac is a great point. He said, "Oh my God, imagine a misunderstood Hitler movie. like he didn't want to do all these bad things. He just, he was forced and he was just, misunderstood. It's
but
terrible. That's
you
where we're
can't.
heading.
But
That's where we're
but
heading.
see, here's the thing: you can't even say that word of that political party he was the leader
Hmm.
of. Like you can't. So what are you gonna do?
I don't know.
Have it be Hydra? It was like the other night. I was talking to somebody, and they're like, "Oh, you mean Hydra?" I go, "No, straight up,
Yeah, the
you
real
know,
thing. The real thing.
the real thing."
Scott
And they
said,
they just kind of looked at me. Yeah.
he said
Um.
2070. I can't wait to see them recast CQ as a woman who identifies as the Blue Man Group. Yeah, I dig it. I'm looking forward to that remake, the Pop Culture Warrior remake.
You, you hit it on the nose. The all these changes that CQ's been talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's
coming.
that's exactly that's what's coming.
I'm
That's
being
what's coming.
recast. I'm being
He's being
recast
recast.
as a black little person who is a they them and uh you know uh, moonlights as a vigilante. I don't know. Something, but he's really a villain who's just misunderstood. So yeah. We're gonna check off all the boxes. You can't say what you call that all the time. And I can be played by Kanye West. Yes, definitely, definitely, absolutely. And Angry Elf is gonna be played by Elon Musk. So it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
It's great.
It's great. It's great. What else? Other news stories. Speaking of Inside Out, we were just talking about them. Reportedly, Inside Out 3 is in the works. Not surprising.
Of
That
course.
made $1 billion, and they're gonna need more stuff like that.
Yeah.
Michael, which is a two-part uh, biopic about, you guessed it, Michael Jackson, is set to release in theaters in 2026. So you're gonna get Michael Part 1 and Michael Part 2 released in 2026 in theaters.
So
Indeed.
who's playing the King of Pop?
I don't know. Let's see.
Would it be? Could it be? This is where his triumphant return, the master, the the myth, the legend, Michael Jackson. He didn't die. He's back.
Oh man. Let's see. New Michael Jackson. It's called Michael. It's a musical drama. It does have casting. Let's see. Director is Antoine Fuqua. I've heard that name
Right.
before. And the lead will be played Jafar Jackson, who is the nephew of Michael Jackson.
There you go.
So, director is assembling an ensemble cast for his upcoming Michael Jackson biopic, simply titled Michael. The film will follow the life and career of the late King of Pop from his early days as a member of the family group, the Jackson Five, through to his success as a solo artist. It'll trace Jackson's triumphs and tragedies as it examines both his personal struggles and his most iconic performances. Fuqua, known for Training Day, let's not forget he directed Training Day, will direct from a script by John Logan, who did Skyfall and Gladiator. The movie is currently in production with Lionsgate and Universal Pictures, slated to release April 2025. It's not going to be April 2025. This must be an old article. Yeah, this was last updated in 2024. It'll be next year is when it comes out. I think that's what it said, right? It said April. Yeah, 2026. Yeah, it got pushed back to next year. Included in the film are Jackson's family members plus major players in his career: Barry Gordon, Diana Ross, Quincy Jones, and more. Jafar Jackson has I'm looking at a picture of him. I could see the resemblance. There's a bit of resemblance of a young Michael. Let's see. Juliano Cruz Valdi is playing the young Michael, like Jackson 5 era Michael. Cole Domingo as Joel Jackson. I like that. Cole Domingo, you know him from Fear the Walking Dead and a couple of other things. He's playing Joel Jackson. I can see that. I could totally see that. Nia Long is playing Catherine Jackson.
Nice.
Miles Teller is going to be in it as John Branca. John Branca is the unyielding attorney who was at Jackson's side for more than 3 decades. He was instrumental in helping to usher Jackson from a fresh-faced boy bander to a solo artist dubbed the King of Pop. Then you've got Jaden Harrell, Jamal Henderson as Jermaine Jackson. Oh, he's playing, the two of them are playing Jermaine Jackson, young and old. Jalen Lyndon Hunter and Trey Horton as Marlon Jackson. Judah Edwards and Ryan Hill as Tito Jackson. Nathan Logan McKintry and Joseph David Jones as Jackie Jackson. Who names their child Jackie Jackson? That's just a dick thing to do.
Lazy writing.
Yeah, Lorenz Tate as Barry Gordon. Kat Graham as Deanna Ross. I can see that. Jessica Sula as LaToya Jackson. I think they missed the mark on that one. Liv Simone as Gladys Knight. Kevin Shink as Dick Clark. Kendrick Sampson as Quincy Jones. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I mean, they got some talented people and they got some decent lookalikes. Could be starting something. See what I did there? Want to be starting something.
Oh boy! All right, we'll stop.
I try to get thoughts on Star Wars Zero Company. We'll talk about that in a second. You mentioned Matrix earlier. Warner Brothers confirms that it is developing a new Matrix movie. Yay. Because the last one did so well. Really revitalized the franchise.
Yep.
This is cool news. I did. Again, I put that in the realm of the Beetlejuice in that I saw it. I remember one scene from it. I saw it.
Right.
I watched the whole thing and I remember one scene. And I don't even remember it being a good scene. It was that's just for whatever reason, that's what stuck. Good news.
Yes.
Ryan Coogler's Sinners is the highest rated film of 2025. It has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. For those that don't know, Ryan Coogler, who he directed the Black Panther movies, He's got this new movie called Sinners, starring Michael B. Jordan. It has to do with vampires. I watched the
Is that what
trailer
it
and
is?
I watched the trailer and I'm still not entirely sure what the movie has to do with, but it has to do with something about like music and vampires. But apparently it's getting rave reviews. Rave reviews.
Well,
So I'm
Michael B.
actually,
Jordan has got a double role in it. He plays twin brothers. I know that.
yeah. Yes, he does. I wonder, do you get paid twice if you're playing two characters? Then you should.
No.
They're two starring characters. You should. But
Yeah.
anyway, for that, like you could be paying twins to do the job. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really curious to go see it. But it's like highly rated. A lot of people are saying it's very good. So Warner Brothers also confirming, and this just hurts my soul. They're developing a new Goonies movie and Gremlins movie. And what really bothers me is not that they said we got to be specific with wording, because they don't go, we're developing a new Gremlin movie and a new Goonies movie. They're developing new Gremlins movies and Goonies movies, plural.
Yes. I hear what you're saying. They now with Gremlins, they had that kids animated show a few years back and was kind of like set as a prequel. Um, could it be okay? I mean, I agree with you. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. I mean, the first the two, well, excuse me, the two Gremlin movies are great, especially that second one when they start messing with all that stuff and they have the the, the different various Gremlins. But the Goonies, dude, don't
Gremlins,
touch it.
I feel like you could get away with,
Sure.
especially if you go along the routes of like Megan, not this new one, but like, where it's this kind of thing. And I don't know, it's got to be done in a way it's less campy. It's more, it doesn't have to be straight horror, but it definitely should be creepy and,
Right.
in the realm of like body horror without actually being body horror. Um, but the Goonies, I, I don't, I don't see a way you can do the Goonies today. If you were gonna do it, it'd have to be like Stranger Things set in the 80s. You can't. The whole idea of these kids just like disappearing off into the wilderness and exploring caves. Nobody does that anymore.
Hey, I got a good one for you. How about this? Clean the movies up, and by cleaning it up, I mean like digitally kind of enhance it so it looks better. Re-release it. You only spent a couple $1,000s doing what you did, and you fucking make money. Because I don't know about you, but I've got at least one movie theater that every Wednesday and Sunday afternoons they do those retro whatever, and
Hmm.
I know they make money off of that. And the studios spend almost nothing to re-release those films, and it makes them money.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm hearing that freaking because of streaming and how it's all going and how like the first thought I had with you were talking about Sinners was I went and looked, instinctively went and looked when's it coming to streaming because a lot of films spend what?
Yeah.
If they spend 4 weeks in the box office, that's a that's a
That's
win.
huge. Yeah.
Don't 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 just don't. It's it's like that line from Jurassic Park. You were so preoccupied with
If you
doing
could.
this, you didn't think of, should you do this or
Yeah.
something of that line.
Yeah. You're so preoccupied with could you do it? You never stop to
Right.
think, should you do it? Yeah.
Exactly. There
Yeah.
you go.
And like Insomniac says, 100% they're gonna gender race swap the kids. I mean, like, why stop there? I mean, they could take it so much further. Um, and I get it, like because of like shows like Stranger Things, you get this renewed sense of like, oh yeah, 80s with the kids and going off and getting into
Yeah.
trouble and exploring and oh, you know what? That's like the Goonies. Let's just do that again. Like, no, 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 no. I I stand on it's a bad idea. God, I hope they prove me wrong, but I just don't see it. I don't know how you make a modern version of the Goonies and make it that people care.
The problem is this. Are people clamoring for a Goonies movie? Let's take a look at the current movies that are out there right now. All right. What are the top three movies right now?
Minecraft.
Minecraft, that's based off a video game property that
Yeah.
is extremely popular. Um, you've
I don't
got a
even.
Jason Statham movie, Working Man. I'm just pulling movies that I know are in the theaters
Oh,
right
I
now.
just saw The Amateur, which was okay.
The Amateur,
Yeah.
you got The Amateur,
Snow
and then you've
White.
got Snow White. Snow White is a remake. Whatever you want to call it, it's a remake, and it's not doing well. Nobody asked for it. The Amateur is your average action movie, spy thriller, right? Your Jason Statham movie is your action movie, and I guarantee you that movie was made on the cheap. And then you've got Minecraft, which has got a bunch of 3D digital effects, and that had to be a pretty penny. And Minecraft is the one that's fucking killing it. Like, give me a break.
Yeah.
Learn your. It's the thing. Hollywood learns all the wrong lessons from all these box office hits. They really do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, Lion King, 2019, huge box office win for them, and they're like, "Fuck it, green light every live action remake," and that methodology has just not worked in their favor, uh, at all. But whatever. In other news, I know some people out there. We got some big Magic the Gathering fans out there. Gotta love some MTG. I have to like it. Like people that are like alcoholics and drug addicts, they're like, I've been sober for years, but like I'm still an addict. I can't have one because then it'll be a
Mhm.
spiral of that's me in Magic the Gathering. I made the
Right.
fucking mistake during the quarantine years. I was like, we're sitting at home and I saw like my brother-in-law, who my wife's youngest brother, who's like 20 years younger because mom kept popping out kids, but like he was like playing with like Yu-Gi-Oh trading cards, and I was like, oh man, that's like Magic the Gathering. And he's like, what's Magic the Gathering? And I was like, oh man, it was so big when I was a kid, and blah blah blah. And I made the mistake. I bought a fucking starter box. I was like, I'll teach you how to play Magic. And man, it's about 2 years there. I went down a bad, bad hole. I boxes upon boxes upon boxes of cards.
Yep.
Anyway, I got out. I'm out. I'm clean. I'm clean and I'm sober and I'm not going back. Although they almost got me. They released a Marvel Magic the Gathering crossover. I saw them Spider-Man cards and I was like, oh shit.
Yep.
They almost got me. I literally went to a store. I was like, yeah, y'all got any of them Marvel Magic the Gathering? And the guy's like, no, man, I'm all sold out. I was like, oh, fucking thank God. Oh, fucking thank God. Because they
Mhm.
almost pulled me back in, man. Anyway, I bring up Magic the Gathering because there is a live action, right? Because that's the word of the day, a live action Magic the Gathering movie that will be directed by director Matt Johnson, who just not too long ago did that Blackberry movie, which
Mhm.
phenomenal movie, by the way. Great, great
Yep.
movie. So I'm excited. It seems like a very big departure from like the biopic Blackberry movie to like Magic the Gathering, but I'm there for it, man. I'll check it out. I'll give it the thing. Let's see what are people in this comment saying.
I never.
Chicago. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I've never played it, so I'm not like I know what Magic Gathering is, but I never played it. But is there any like main characters, or is it like Dungeons and Dragons where?
So there are no main. Think of it almost like Pokemon, where there's kind of like well-known, well-established characters. There's not
Right.
necessarily a main character, but you have things, like I think it was like Lilith, the Queen of the Dead. She's in a lot of the cards and a lot of the black cards, which are, about sorcery
Right.
and dark magic and things like that. And then they're like certain like water benders represent the blue symbol. So there are a couple of characters who are you see quite often, but a lot of it's like creatures, fucking poison rat and fucking griffin and and magical mystical elements and things like that, potions and whatnots. So and there is like there's a lore, like you could read books on it and stuff like that. So there is a lore about
Right.
planeswalkers and their ability to summon monsters and things like that. So you could very well pull for a lot of from that. But yeah, there's no like main antagonist or anything like that.
I'm just saying, just trying to understand like
Yeah.
where
How do
they
you
would
make that a
go with
movie?
this.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. If there's so much wiggle room, there's not established stuff. All you're gonna have to do is come up. Well, excuse me, main character establishment. You just create some characters, have them play in the world, and you know, um, I don't know.
Yeah.
It. I got a feeling that I'll be honest with you. As popular as Magic is, it can't be any more popular than Dungeons and Dragons in the sense that, I mean, think about it. Dungeons and Dragons still going strong decades later.
Yeah,
Or for
but
instance, World of Warcraft. Remember that movie came out what, five,
oh
10 years
man,
ago,
that was
right?
terrible. They did a
Right. I
terrible
mean,
job capturing it. The Dungeons and Dragon movie was pretty good, even though it really had nothing to do with the game. Um,
yeah,
but I will say this: where something like Dungeons and Dragons is different from something like Magic, Dungeons and Dragons is mainly created by the players, and
sure.
Magic has like lore writers, and it has like they're telling you what the characters are. They're telling you like these are the monsters, these are the artifacts, these are the
Right.
potions and things. Whereas Dungeons and Dragons, you're just making up shit as you go along. It
Well,
is
again,
popular. It is wildly
I've
popular.
never played. All I know is Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, there are libraries full of
Yes.
guidebooks, and they update it
Yes.
like I think every year.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I,
Um
I don't know. I I I'm the different type of nerd.
oh, here's a good point. Insomniac says there is that Navy SEALs Iraq film in theaters right now called Warfighters. Yes, and it's literally I'm mad at myself because I had an opportunity to see it as a screener with the director. Um, it's a couple weeks ago, and I forget why, but I wasn't able to go, and I was really, really, really bummed out about that. So I do want to see that.
Was
I
it
have
because you would have to ask Mad Mike and I to cover down for the show again?
No, 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 no. It was on a, I want to say it was like on a Wednesday. I think my kid had a scouting event or something. I don't know. It was something
Right.
that I couldn't back out of. Um, let's see, same thing with the video game industry. How many failures to capture this modern audience will it take for them to learn they don't exist? That's true. That is true. That is true. A couple more stories for you. The Last of Us, which is obviously just dropped on HBO Max, season 2 has already getting good reviews, has already been renewed for a season 3. Again, not very shocking. It's super popular. It's adapting, the first season adapted the first game. The second season is the first half of the second game, and obviously the third season would probably be the second half of the second game to finish out the story. And there is no Last of Us 3, as I'm far as I'm aware
Yes.
of, not yet.
Y-
Um,
I,
but
I would imagine. I
spoilers,
would imagine.
it doesn't end well for all the characters.
I would imagine that if it does well, that they go off and do either a Game of Thrones or a Walking Dead, where they
Spinoff.
well, not so much spin-off, but they depart from the story, especially if I mean, if season 3, they're what, doing it every 2 years, right? So, we're in 25, so season 3 would come out in 27, let's say, assuming a part 3 dropped in the next 18 months, maybe they could get a season 4 out in time for 29, but they would have to make a decision, do we stop here or do we go off on our own, you know?
Who's to say? Who's to say? Here's I swear, like the word of the day is remake and live action. Here's another remake. The saving grace, I'll say now, and we've said it before on this show many times. Prime has found a way to make good content, whether that be through their live action stuff, their animated stuff, their original IP, or their, you know, licensed IP. I'm not sure about this one. They're doing a Carrie TV series. Remember Carrie, the horror film from Stephen King? That's already been remade, I think, twice from the original. I think they're on the third already remake. Is now going
Yeah.
to be an 8-episode TV series on Prime. I don't know. Why? Why does this need to
Because
be made?
because of stuff like Crystal Lake being made, stuff like, the Psycho, TV show that ran, the prequel show, what was it called? Oh.
A prequel to Carrie?
No, the prequel to Psycho.
Oh, to
Um,
Psycho. Yeah. The Bates Motel or whatever.
Bates Motel. That's it's stuff like that. Um, Welcome to Derry. You know, the fact that these shows have been approved and are moving forward or almost about to be released, you know, that's what happens. Hollywood, sees, oh, this property went well, so let's go off and do this and take this horror. I mean, for instance, all it's going to take is, oh, I was listening to a podcast the other day talking about the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, and it basically went through the history of the 80s and the early 90s with, and then it basically ended saying, "Hey, yeah, they attempted a reboot, didn't do well, and don't worry, it's Hollywood. Eventually, they're going to come back around and do another Nightmare on Elm Street show with somebody else playing Freddy Krueger." And I'm sitting
Yeah.
there, I'm like, "But do we need it?"
Right. And you're right. I feel like Hollywood's very cyclic, very cyclic. It goes round and round. And it seems that horror is the genre of the moment. You have a lot of these independents that are taking advantage of lapsed trademarks, like that whole, Pooh, Blood and Honey, the Winnie the Pooh horror movies. They're doing a
Yeah,
Steamboat Willie horror movie. I just heard there's a Peter Pan horror one. Like all the shows you mentioned. Plus, Final Destination is back. I mean, I thought that series was
yeah,
fucking long dead and gone. Um, Saw, they're doing another Saw movies coming out soon. So,
yeah,
Candyman got rebooted a couple years ago. Like,
yep.
there's just, I don't,
I mean, I heard, you want to talk about horror? I heard that freaking apparently Lucasfilm is looking at doing
Star Wars
a
horror
horror
movie.
Star Wars show
Yeah,
or something, and
yeah.
there is some stuff, but it's kind of like, look, like, you guys, it's not one of these things where you can play in all these puddles. Get out of the puddles. Stay in, and it's at the point now almost, I'll tell you, start next week, and it may not be a good sign on how they're releasing it. Start next week and or releases. And they're releasing 3 episodes a night. I think it's supposed to be an 8 or 12 episode run, and they're releasing their yeah, I think it's 12 episodes. So they're releasing everything in 4 weeks. That just doesn't sit well with me. One, if that's the case, don't break them up into episodes. Just release them as like
Mini
90-minute,
movies.
2-hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, edit them together so I don't have to sit there and hit next. And two, but that doesn't bode well. And this was already a series that was rushed. I man, I want to watch it. I'm hoping I got really high hopes, and I'm just like, when you eat bad sushi and then like 20 minutes later you're like, oh, that's the way I feel.
Yeah. Yeah. Um is that Alicia in the chats? Hollywood needs new ideas, kind of like your merch store. I know you're not talking about my merch store, because if you go to pcwgear.shop, you'll see that I have tons of original merch. What's the Marvel movie coming out May 2nd? Thunderbolts. Talking my language. Thunderbolts. I have been high on Thunderbolts. I'm on record. I've been high on that movie going back quite a while. Since it was announced, I said that's the movie that I'm most excited for, that I feel like could be the surprise hit. I said Captain America was going to be meh. It was meh. Some of the other properties that they're coming out with, meh. I feel like this is the one. I feel like this is the one that leads us into that Secret Wars Doomsday kind of revitalization for the Marvel brand. And early reports are that test screeners are saying it's the best Marvel movie in years.
I hope so. I need a good one.
I really
need
want
a
it to be
good
good.
one.
I really want it to be good. I so badly want it to be good.
Well, we were talking earlier about the Florence Pugh,
Mhm.
that scene that they released earlier this week where she jumps off the building. Um, and all I'm saying is, as long as we've got scenes like, um, the macaroni scene from Hawkeye, or talking to Scarlett Johansson, telling her she's such a poser, scenes like that, I'll be excited. I just,
That was
I don't
totally
know.
ad-libbed. That scene in particular was totally ad-libbed in that movie, because she had
Oh,
been
the post
making
scene?
yeah, the pose, like where she calls her a poser and she does the posing, totally ad-libbed. That wasn't in the script. What was happening was, behind the scenes, she kept making fun of Scarlett Johansson, because she's like, "Oh, you're always in the movies doing these wild poses." And so she was making fun
Right.
of her, and they're like, do that in the scene. And so she totally came up with, in the moment, she's like, what's this thing you do? And there's a poser. And then that
The
became
hair
like the
flip.
running gag. Yeah, the hair flip and the running gag. And yeah, that was same thing with her, Florence Pugh, in the scene with Hawkeye Girl. Um, she's supposed to be there menacingly eating the thing, and she was like, "Hey, can I get some hot sauce to eat with it?" And they're like, "Yeah, if you want." So that was her. Like, she, as a person, was like, "I just want this with hot sauce," and they're like, "Fuck it, roll it. That's good. That's genius." And she's like, and like, that was just her being her, which I love. That's when Robert Downey's being Robert Downey for Iron Man. That's when it works. For when these guys are bring the personality and life into their work, that's what works. When they're
Yeah.
trying too hard to be too serious and this too silly, it doesn't work. The Chris Hemsworth as fucking frat boy Thor, like, that just, it was, oh God, it was so bad.
Oh, you
So
talking
bad.
about from
Love and Thunder.
uh
Yeah.
London?
We don't
Yeah.
talk about that garbage. What a shitty movie. Um, it just, yeah. Anyway, moving on. So yeah, Carrie's a thing. There's also, speaking of horror and monsters and things, there's a new Mummy movie coming out. The Mummy, because that's another franchise they needed to reboot. The Mummy is coming back. And you have May Calamawi. It sounds like I'm saying calamari, but with a lisp.
That's what I thought you were trying to say.
May Calamawi has been cast in Lee Cronin's The Mummy movie, which will be in theaters next April. So yeah, great. Another Mummy movie. You know what we haven't had? A Mummy movie. Let's do that
Since
again.
Tom Cruise attempted it.
Let's do that again because it's worked so well in the past. Let's do that again. Yeah, you mentioned the Star Wars horror project that's in the works. I'm intrigued. That at least is do something people like Star Wars and do it differently than it's been done before.
True.
Say what you will about the Acolyte. There was parts of it I really liked, parts of it that were so bad, but parts of it I really liked because they were trying to do different stuff than they've done in the past. Same with Andor. That's different, and it's following in the footsteps of Rogue One, which was something that they haven't really done before.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. If you want to play it safe and do something beloved, do it different. And don't make a remake. Don't make a sequel. Do something original that's different. Let it. I'm just so tired, boss. I'm just so tired.
They need to go, like, I don't know. You would think that, like, all right, I get it. During the strikes a couple years ago, they were picketing, but at the same time, not everybody could get out to the picket lines.
Mhm.
Like, so you're not working. If UCQ were a writer and you were on hiatus, what would you be doing? Would you be like brainstorming new things like once this strike is over to come out and say, "Hey, check it out. I have this idea for this new pitch." You know, um,
Yeah.
or something. I
We
don't know.
had this conversation. This is going before your time on Pop Culture Warrior.
Yeah,
When we initially launched, timing was great on my part because I launched, as it says, established 2020. I launched the month before COVID started. And that first year was very difficult because everything started getting canceled and canceled and canceled and canceled. And it was impossible to really talk about anything pop culture related because everything was canceled. Even comic books for a while got canceled.
remember? Yeah.
One of the things I said in that time was, God Almighty, I hope that people are taking this time where everything's shut down to just write to their heart's content, be creative. And we saw like people were being creative on social media and, comedians doing virtual comedy shows and, guys like Jack Black were like filming little mini movies in their backyard. And like, it was meant
I
to
miss those.
be, it was meant to be a creative renaissance, right? This golden age was going to come out of this industrial revolution of like, we were going to get all this new content. It was going to be amazing. And I feel like they went the other way. And it fucking killed all creativity, all originality. I mean, you see it. E3 was canceled. Like that, one of the fucking meccas of entertainment and electronics, gone. I feel like San Diego Comic-Con's holding on by a sheer fucking thread.
Yeah.
Like it just didn't go the way I hoped it would. And yeah, so I'm still waiting for, like you were saying, this, and then like you said with the writer strike and the actor strike, I was like, okay, maybe now we'll get the creative renaissance, where all this originality and like every once in a while, look at Sinners. Every once in a while, you get this original idea, although it's vampires.
Right.
I mean, it's not that original, but it's an original take. It's an original take. It's not a remake. It's not a reboot. It's not a resequelization. It's an original idea. And God, I hope we get more of that. I really, really do, because it's so. Here's the next storyline. Warner Brothers is currently in the works of a remake of The Bodyguard. Remember Kevin Costner and Whitney Houston's The Bodyguard? And how many people have been screaming for a remake of that classic?
Whoever, you know what? I'm willing to bet you this. I'm willing to bet you now, because if she takes over the role from Whitney Houston, people are going to scream foul. I was about to say Lady Gaga plays the
The
singer,
singer.
because you got to have somebody who can. They're going to probably want to have somebody who can belt out a classic hit like Whitney did with "I'll Always Love
And
You," or whatever it was called.
yeah,
But
The Bodyguard.
yeah, no one needs it. Because I'm thinking about it, like, I don't know who's gonna play her. I don't know. God, and you know who's gonna play Kevin Costner's role? You said it's coming from Warner Brothers, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to start taking bets on it being Dwayne the Rock Johnson,
Well, it depends. If they're going serious tone,
right?
you get someone. Go with me now. You get like an Idris Elba. You get some like that. If they want to add more of a comedic element, Kevin Hart, right? Because he's the bodyguard. He's little, and you know what I mean. You're gonna go, and then you get someone who's like huge. Like Lady Gaga's pretty tall, but I'm sure there's a singer out there just as established who's maybe even a little bit like taller. Because then there's the dynamic of like he's so tiny next to her. Billie Eilish. Yeah, it could be like a Billie Eilish, but she's not very tall. She's kind of. But anyway, point is, it's not going to do well. I can just, based on the words, a remake of The Bodyguard made by Warner Brothers, I can already tell you it's not going to do well. That was all I needed. I got what I needed, and we're good with that. And finally,
Stephen King written a good book recently that we can make.
He writes a book every day. The guy literally drops a new book every other day. Most of them are all like optioned immediately. Like they get optioned. Whether they end up doing anything, who knows? But shit, I mean, so much. Finally, for the quick hits, Guy Ritchie is in talks to direct Roadhouse 2, the sequel to the remake. And listen, I'll say this. I'll give flowers where they're due. I saw the Roadhouse remake.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't half bad. The thing that I think hurt it the most was that it was called Roadhouse. Had you just called it fucking beach guy beat 'em up and it has nothing to do, like it's its own movie, it's not a half bad movie. It's kind of enjoyable. Dude goes into a bar, beats the living shit out of people, and decent movie. Maybe even people go, wow, it's kind of like this generation's Roadhouse. But when you say Roadhouse, you can't not compare it to the original. It's sad. It's sad. It makes me sad. And I'm sad because I'm sad, and it's sad. That being said, we'll see if Guy Ritchie can do better.
I say this. One more remake they need to do. Take Jake Gyllenhaal, since he did Roadhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Have him get a young actress, and he remakes Dirty Dancing. But he has to sing. He has to sing that song that Patrick Swayze
I
sung
don't
for that movie.
know if you. When was the last time you saw Dirty Dancing? It is so problematic. It is so problematic.
Well, I know it's problematic. Oh God, yes, I know how bad it was. You know,
And you watch it, you're like,
it be-
what were people on in the 80s, man? God, like the girl's supposed to be 16 and he's a man. He is a full
yes, I
grown
know,
man dating a
I know.
16-year-old in camp.
They were on cocaine, like pure cocaine, not
All the
this synthetic
drugs.
stuff that people are snorting nowadays. They were on some
Oh,
good old
man.
fashioned Colombian cocaine, man.
That's there's so much wrong with that movie. It's just so wrong. Anyway, whatever. That's a whole other subject. A couple more things before we call it a night. Shout out to the Oscars because after, I don't know, how long have movies been made? 100 years at this point?
Yeah.
They're finally going to have an award in the stunt category. They have never, ever acknowledged the stunts. Like, think about movies, with the car explosions and the car flips and where like movies where you think, if I say Fast and Furious, one of the fucking first things that pops in mind is the car flipping, hitting the train thing at the end and flipping, and like stunts are such a vital part of movies. We've had a bunch of stunt people. What are you good? What's happening?
Finish your statement, and then I've got a retort to this.
Okay. Stunts are such a huge important part. We've had a bunch of stunt actors come on here and talk about their craft. Stunt directors, a director who directed a movie about stuntmen, called Stuntmen, and the work that goes into this, and it's just it's about time that they get honored and respected. When there's Oscars for best sound and there's Oscars for best CGI, why isn't there a best stunt category? And so
that should have been decades ago.
Decades ago. So finally, kudos to the Oscars. They're finally going to do stunt categories, and it's long overdue and well done. Go ahead. What's your funny comment?
It occurs to me as you're talking about this, and I'm thinking about it, Oscars and stunts, and who comes to mind when we talk about, like, does all of his own stunts, yet he has never earned an Oscar. I guarantee you, if you pull back the onion layers, it was Tom Cruise himself lobbying to get this in there because what's about to come out? The next Mission Impossible movie?
I mean, if we put on our tinfoil hats for a second, kind of lines up. Kind of, the math adds up a bit.
I'm just saying.
Who could have the kind of Hollywood power to make something like that happen?
And he was in the running. What was it? There were several Oscar nominations for Top Gun Maverick, and he didn't get one.
Yeah.
He didn't get it. So, I'll give it to him. What I want to know is they should go back. Like for the first year, they should have two stunt categories. The current year one, right?
And then
And then
best in history kind of thing, like a look back.
kind of like they go back and they say they have 10 nominees just for this one, and we say it's 100 years, so pick one from each decade, and to be an honorary freaking stunt Oscar from the past, and
Yeah. Recognize the
so
unsung heroes, man. Yeah. Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. A couple last ones. This one, I'm trying to think of all the shows in history, like what might be the most spun off show of all time, right? Because when you think like, okay, Cheers spun off, Frasier, even Friends had a spin off in Joey that didn't last very long.
That's what,
You know,
season, 2 seasons?
you get things like Happy Days, and like all these shows at best have one spin-off. Can you think of a show that has had multiple spin-offs? Because I can think of
Yeah.
one. I can think
Star
of
Trek.
one. Well, does it count as a spin-off? That
Yes.
to me, that's more of a franchise than it is
Okay.
spin-offs. But that's a good one. That's a good one. But like Star, because you could say Star Wars has a couple different shows, so that could be. I consider that more of a franchise
Okay.
than anything. The one that comes to mind for me, The Big Bang Theory, which spun off into Young Sheldon, which
Mhm.
now has a show on air called, was it Mandy and whatever's First Marriage, which is a spinoff of Young
Or
Sheldon.
George
George
and Mary. Or,
Mandy's
yeah.
First Marriage, whatever. Just announced there's going to be another spinoff. And it's a spinoff of actually the original show, Big Bang Theory. Going back to that cast, one of the beloved side characters was the comic book shop guy. Was what was his name? Fucking
Yeah.
Pete.
That
I don't
guy.
know. I don't know what his name was. But it was the guy that had the comic book shop, and then later in the show he got a girlfriend. Apparently, there's going to be a spin-off show of them, the comic book shop guy and his
Yeah.
girlfriend. Uh, Again, is it something that
Stewart.
people Stewart? Yeah, I knew it was with an S. Stewart.
Yep.
Uh, is this something like I enjoyed Big Bang Theory as a show, and I enjoyed Stewart's character in the small drips he was in the series.
Yeah.
A whole show based around this character,
No.
I don't think it's going to do well. I don't think it's going
No.
to do it. And I like the actor. This is not a comment on the actor or the writers or anything like that. I just don't think it's something that people are going to tune in to watch. But I said that about Young Sheldon, and I said that about Mandy and George's first wet marriage. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
wrong.
I mean, the only thing I see that's problematic is the actor that plays is 54. Um, Kevin Sussman is
Kevin
54.
Sussman. Yeah.
He'll be 55 in December. That I mean, if the cast was younger, if this was what 10 years ago, maybe. Um,
I
I
mean,
mean,
maybe that's the premise. Like, what what does it look like when a 55-year-old comic book shop owner finally calls it quits or decides, I always think of like the tropes, right? I'm going to go out and live my life now, like it's my second what they call it, second puberty. He's like I became a man now and I'm going to go live life and
yeah. You know what? His comic book shop closes down because of the digital age, and he's got to go find something else. Yeah, no, that actually that hurts personally because the comic shop I was going to closed about a month and a half ago,
mm,
and I didn't feel like going to another one, so I stopped reading comics.
mm,
I'll get
midlife
a couple of trade
crisis.
paperbacks to finish out the storylines I was listening or excuse me, reading, and that's it.
Midlife crisis. Exactly. Exactly.
Yep.
Yes. Lastly, as we wrap this up, actually, there's two. One, because it touches on that we were talking about Prime and how I feel like they've done a really good job of selecting the right shows, the right people involved. We've
Yeah.
seen it with The Boys and Fallout and all these other shows, Invincible. They were in the works putting together a Tomb Raider series.
Mhm. By, what's her name?
Yes. And
Phoebe
Sophie
Waller-Bridge.
Turner was rumored to be the titular Laura Croft. Uh,
Mhm.
Most recent rumors is that the series might not actually be happening after all, that they're just not getting it done the way they think it should be done, which I
Yeah.
say fucking kudos. Any other studios like, oh, slam dunk. Lara Croft Tomb Raider, Sophie Turner, she was big in Game of Thrones.
Yep.
Like any other studio is going to be like slam dunk. Oh well, we don't really like the no, just green light, go. Why isn't it out yet? So kudos to fucking Amazon Prime for saying, you know what, this ain't shaping up the way we thought it would. We're not liking the results of the early pitches and things, and we're just going to shelf it.
Yeah.
Wow, never thought I'd see the day. And then lastly, which, by the way, have you watched The Studio on Apple TV? Oh, it's a great show. Great show.
No.
Seth
I guess
Rogen plays an executive at a movie studio, and it's so good. It's so fucking
I guess
good.
I have to go watch it.
You gotta watch it. There's so much. Martin Scorsese went on record. He made like a small cameo. He goes, "That show is so truthful, it hurts." Like, because it's supposed to be like all the shit that happens behind the scenes and why certain decisions are made, and like it's so good. It's so good. Anyway, final story of the night. There's been a lot of speculation back and forth. I'm going to dip my toe back in the Marvel universe for a second.
Mm-hmm.
When Multiverse of Madness came out, Wanda Maximoff's character, or Elizabeth Olsen's character, Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch, squished by a mountain. Gone. And like most movies and comics, what do we always say? If there ain't a body, they ain't dead. And even half the time, if there is a body, I'd poke it a few times because they're probably not dead. But I'd poke her dead body. Anyway, so
Anyway,
let me recall that. The MCU has been very vague on what happened to Scarlet Witch. Is she really dead? Is she not dead? Well, there have been a series of comic books. Yes, comic books. Marvel did those. There's been a series of comic books that are set, are canon, as we like to say, with the events in lockstep with MCU. So there was a TVA comic book, and it had like crazy characters that you've only seen in the comics. So like Spider-Gwen and Wolverine's kid, but not Dakin kid, the blonde-headed kid from like the Ultimate Universe. Is a whole thing. But it's a bunch of random characters from across the multiverse, and they're all together working for the TVA and chasing things down. Well, in a single panel in one of the issues, you see Spider-Gwen as she's in like the depths of the TVA, and in the back wall, you see a cylindrical tube, like a cryogenic tube, as it were, and you see what looks very much like Elizabeth Olsen's Scarlet Witch just standing in suspended animation.
Right.
And as if that wasn't on the nose enough, the Spider-Gwen character like looks over it and goes, "Oh, that's that whatever." I forget the term she used, but she's like, "That's that witch that fought Doctor Strange in that one universe and got squished by a mountain." Like, as on the nose as you can be.
Yep.
Now, obviously, coming off that, everybody's like, "Oh my God, that means Scarlet Witch is alive and well, or something well." Maybe not alive, maybe not well, but she's still in the MCU somewhere. And so then you had other people like, it's a comic book. What do they know? Blah, 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 blah. Well, somebody had tweeted to the writer of that comic book, and they're like, with a screenshot, they're like, "Is this supposed to be Elizabeth Olsen's?" And he wrote back, and he's like, "Yeah, that's her." And so, like, fucking rumor squash. There's no ifs, ands, buts. It's official. Scarlet Witch is alive. Wait, sort of. And imprisoned within the TVA in the back closet. Somebody put her in the back closet of a TVA, storage facility or something. But it's an interesting choice to do that.
Yeah.
I feel like Elizabeth Olsen has been very polite, but very clear that she doesn't enjoy being in the Marvel universe anymore. And that, like, she's gone already saying, like, "I don't watch these movies. This is not my," like, she's an artsy fartsy kind of, cinemaphile. She's like, this is not my kind of thing, even though this is what fucking made her a major star. She's like, yeah, it's not really my thing. So, you know, and in some ways, I think she does have a leg to stand on to be a little bit pissed because like she had this beautiful story arc, and then, you know, in WandaVision, really like acted her guts out, right? The grief and the rage and all that, only to turn around and in Multiverse of Madness, it's like they just turned her into like villain of the week. And it was just a very
Yeah.
sudden, weird pivot for someone who had this wonderfully rich tapestry of this fucking like emotional ride of like coming in, losing her brother, and then falling in love, and then fighting this war, and then people snapped away, and then dealing with the grief, and like and all this great stuff. And then it's just like, I want kids from another universe. I'm evil. I kill people. And it's like, wow, that was sudden. Anyway, so I don't think she's very happy with where they left her character, whatnot. But you have something to say?
No, I totally agree. I didn't like. I get it. In the comics, Scarlet Witch had a a villainous turn, several points. You know,
Mm-hmm.
she's been back and forth and all that stuff, and I agree. And I think she got done dirty in uh,
Multiverse
multi
Madness,
or
yeah.
yeah, Multiverse of Madness.
If anything, there was that great Avengers Disassembled. Remember that storyline where she has a psychotic break and inadvertently rewrites reality, which I feel like they used a bit of that for WandaVision. That's they used the grief and the thing of from Vision, and she rewrote that little slice of New Jersey. I don't
No,
think it
I'm
would
think
have. Go ahead.
no, I
Mhm.
was trying to. No, I remember Avengers Disassembled,
Mhm.
and I know she had bits and pieces of it. Her psychotic break wasn't that House of M?
Well, that's it. Started in Avengers Disassembled, and then
Okay, yeah, okay,
it
all right,
that
yeah, yeah,
led into House of M. Exactly. It was
okay.
when she finally said no more mutants at the end
No
of
More Mutants was
Assembled
at the end of
was the start
House of M.
of
Yeah.
House of
Okay.
M. So I think they borrowed from that to do WandaVision. But I'm just
Well,
saying
yeah,
it
yeah,
wouldn't have took that much more to really push her over the edge. Like I can buy her as a villain, but don't it
right.
in that she was it was more of a choice for her than like a pure psychotic break. Like I buy into like she's just lost her grip on reality and whatever versus like, oh, I want kids. I read the Darkhold. Now I'm evil. Eh. Anyway, so long story short, the point of the whole thing was Scarlet Witch is alive and well, and at some point very much could rejoin the MCU. And I think that's just a way of keeping her in play uh for
I
whatever
mean,
it is that they're working on.
supposedly the Vision TV show is supposed to be part 3 of the uh WandaVision, trilogy. She's got to come back and at least in that. I got she didn't come back in Agatha, but she's got to come back in
Yeah, they
that.
made lots of allusions to her, references to
True.
her, but not actually bring her back. I don't know. I don't know. Just based on the interview stuff that I've seen of her, she just doesn't seem very enthusiastic about any sort of return. And then, you know, we've seen things from like the teasers, the leaked images for Doomsday and Secret War, and the teaser, the chair teaser that they did. Like, nowhere in any of that is she mentioned or referenced. And I don't know. I think they're going to move on from her personally. I will say, Scott says there's always a way to bring back a character. For example, plucking them from different timelines, magic resurrection, fake and planned the whole time. Yes. One of the biggest switcheroos, as it were. It's so funny. I was just kind of rereading these. Invincible, which is a great story. Spoiler alert if they get this far in the TV show, because in the comics, this is way later in the run. But there's a point in which Mark, Invincible, becomes a bad guy. He becomes a bad guy and he teams up with a villain. Now, again, in his mind, he's doing it for the right reasons. You know, he's tired of the world constantly coming under attack and like this no
Right.
kill thing and whatever. So he goes full. They say never go full retard. He goes full retard and like starts killing people and working with Dinosaurus, which is like this evil dinosaur mastermind. It's a comic book. It works. But long story short, he goes and goes and goes to the point where it's almost like it's unforgivable what he's done. And at some point, it's a whole convoluted mess. The reason I bring it up is because there's this moment where you see, or the world sees, Dinosaurus kill Invincible. Like he literally takes him, rips him apart, and then like pops his head, and the world sees it happen. And so to the world, Invincible's dead. Come to find out a few issues later, Dinosaurus, who's super maniacal genius, had cloned Invincible, but it was just a body. Like it had no, thought or autonomy. It was just a literally body clone. So it was the body clone, and he had switched, like during their fight, he had like teleported Mark away and then killed the body clone. And the whole point of it was to say, look, you claim that you're doing this because you have no out. You have to. You have, these people know you and they rely on you. He goes, now you have an out. Now you have an out. Everyone thinks you're dead. The question is what you're going to do about it. Like, are you going to take the out and disappear because you want to live this normal life, or was that all bullshit? And anyways, great story arc, but yeah, it's the idea that there's always, comic books always have an out, always have a reason why and a reason how. So with that, we've been talking a lot, and I think it's about that time. So, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you've had a wonderful evening. I want to thank each and every one of you who hung out with us, talked to us, given me shit. Looking at you, Alicia, giving me shit all night. I love it. I appreciate it. I thank you for it. Real quick, let's take a look around the station. So let me pull up our little graphic here. There it is. So here at I gotta do my announcer voice. Here at WTF Nation Radio, we're happy to provide you with quality entertainment throughout the week, starting with the Sports Bar on Sunday nights with King and Coach, bringing you the latest happenings in all of sportsdom. Followed up by Monday edition with Ice and Massey, bringing you news, discussion, commentary, all the things happening around the world. That leads us into this wonderful show, Pop Culture Warrior Tuesdays, with myself, with Angry Elf, Mad Mike when he feels like it, the usual. And on Wednesdays, we have The Smoke Pit, led by the famous Radar, my boo, my old co-host Radar. He's off flying solo. Well, not solo. He's got TZ partnering up with him, but he's out there in the wild doing his thing. Sergeant's Time Thursdays with Ice and Spanky. For all you people that still give a shit about the military, that's where you go. I hung that shit up a long time ago. Closest thing I come these days is this camo hat. I gave that shit up a long time ago. Every other Friday is FTX with myself and the guys coming to play. Sometimes Angry Elf pops in. If you saw a couple weeks ago, Angry Elf randomly popped in. Sometimes that happens. We play board games, card games, sit down, have drinks, have fun, and just shoot the shit with you fine folks at home. If you have nothing better to do on a Friday night, hang out with us. And on Saturdays, weekend co-ops with Nemo, playing online co-op games, and yeah, just having a good time. One last thing. I have this idea. So for those of you that have hung around quite a while, we've been around, Jesus, I've been doing this, 6 years now? Jesus Christ, it flies by. In the old
5
days,
years, you can't math.
I'm 2020. Well, technically I started putting it together in 2019. We didn't launch till February of 2020. So I've been doing it a minute. Anyway, when I first came on, I loved doing pop culture stuff, still do. And I realized, like, as we were looking around the station and, we had shows kind of leaving or doing things. And I said, oh, we're missing like a sports show. We need like a sports show. And it took a while, but we got there. And now we have a sports show. And, and Radar started his show. And obviously we started doing FTX. I have this idea. And I'm curious. I'm gonna leave this open for a second so that the audience can give some feedback for whoever's still watching out there. Let me know what your thoughts. Every other week is Friday night FTX, Friday night tabletop exercise. On the off Fridays, we don't really have anything scheduled. We kind of fill it with whatever. Would you, as an audience, be interested in a live, go with me here for a second, a live cooking show where veterans get together and make food? And I'm not talking about like, you're fucking gonna put some nacho cheese on these nacho, like we're gonna make some nacho, but like actual meals, different styles of food, different types of food, easy to do recipes. None of this fucking like 600 step recipe nonsense, but like, stuff that's practical, stuff that's delicious, that's good. I don't know, Angry Elf, what do you think? A cooking show. You think that could work?
I mean, I need a cooking show. I need somebody to help me. I mean, shoot, my wife wants me to cook more, and my complaint is I'll cook. I just don't know what, like tonight I was, freaking browning up some ground up or not ground up, yeah, ground turkey. And
Mm.
apparently I was using a olive spatula that's not meant to be used in heat. I needed to grab another spatula, and I'm like, so yeah, sure. Yeah, a cooking show. Help me. Me.
I mean, help me, help you. Yeah, I don't know. I have this idea, and it's nothing. I mean, we haven't even talked internally about it. It's literally just something I was talking to somebody, was it yesterday or the day before? And I could see, like in my mind's eye, a cooking show, and it's engaging. You're talking. People can ask questions like, oh, well, would you use this, or what do you like this? Flavor profiles, and just something different. It's a little different. It's a little outside of our usual. Go ahead.
Who's gonna be the host?
I have someone in mind. He doesn't know about it yet, but I have someone in mind. It's not you. It's not me.
Good.
I am not a cook.
Because
I-
I was gonna tell you right now, all your Patreon money would have to go to fire suppression systems for me.
We have standby medics and firemen on standby. See, Susan says, "Oh, that sounds like fun to me." Thank you, Susan. I appreciate that. Anubis says, "How about a collectible show?" You know what? I mean, what's your pitch, right? Like, we're talking a collectible show. What's the pitch?
I know where he's going.
I'm just saying, send me a pitch. Send me a pitch, man. I think that I think we're due for some new blood and ways to there's so much out there. I just feel like there's so many passions and likes, and there's so many if you're into racing or fucking airplanes or whatever it is, like there's so much out there that people are passionate about, and I feel like there's untapped markets for us here at WTF Nation Radio to speak to the veteran experience in a way, the same way that I think my audience connects to my pop culture material, the same way King's audience connects to his sports material, but it's just a way to connect with a community that's both veteran and, shares that passion. And, we sneak in, life lessons and resources and things and ways to connect. And so, yeah, I just think if you have the right person with the right team behind them, I think, again, nothing crazy, nothing over the top, but like a simple, just like, hey, for the next 2 hours, we're going to sit here and make a lasagna. You know what I mean? And just in a simple, easy to follow, understandable. You know what? Sometimes I'll see these clips online where they're like, "Okay, we're gonna make lasagna," and it's like, "All you gotta do is put this and this and this and this and this and this and this," and you're just like, "What the?" Like I'll like replay it and replay it and replay it and replay it, and I'm like, I don't know what they're doing. So, if you got to watch live, right, and like, live, yeah, you can interact, whatever, but B, if you did watch the replay, you can literally watch second by second. It's like, oh, he grabbed this and he poured this and he measured
Right.
this and he did this and he mixed this. And then yes, you could clip that. Because again, I'm thinking from a business standpoint, you could take a 2-hour show and clip it down to a 5-minute clip and do one of those speed, like throw this and put this and 450 degrees and then boom, here you go. And then you show the end result. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just think like it's something I would watch. I would watch. Fuck it. I'd participate because I'm just a fat ass that loves to eat. So I would totally I would totally just show up to eat at the end. I'll be a producer just so that I can eat the food when it's done. Like that's I'll be behind the camera like, yeah. You're doing great. You're doing great. Let me taste that. Let me try that. Give me a plate. But anyway, so yeah. Insomnia says, you're gonna stream Blueprints on Valor? What is Valor? If I was gonna stream, I would do it on the Pop Culture Warrior channel. That's what I would do. Binging with Babish is a pretty good cooking YouTube if y'all haven't seen it. Okay, I'm gonna check that out. Binging with Babish. Check that out. Anubis says hot toys, helmets, Legos, etc., etc. Yeah, I know what collectibles are. What's the pitch of like? What's the show? Just like you're like this is like. This is my Lego Spider-Man. This is my collective. Like what's the show? Right? Are we talking about the past, the present, the future? What you want to see, what you don't want to see? Interviewing toy makers, like. Hit me up with a pitch, man. Hit me up with a pitch. We'll talk. We'll talk offline. Anyway, all right. I've talked you guys' ears off enough. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, watching, hanging out with us, chatting. I want to thank Angry Elf, as always, for the pop culture czar himself.
One day, it'll all be mine.
The wannabe pop culture czar. For stepping in as always. I appreciate you, bud. I think you are awesome. Sorry, Valor is the Discord for the game night, I think, on Saturdays. Oh, I got you, man. I got you. Yeah, Nemo runs the whole Discord thing. I don't know. I gotta figure it out. I'm gonna talk to Nemo. I'm gonna see what's up and we'll figure that out. Maybe I'll do this stream because I'm having fun with that game. I'm enjoying it. But yes, thank you everybody. Appreciate you as always. Stay tuned. This is an off week for FTX, but check out all of our other shows. See, like if this were in my head, like there'd be tune in for the Cooking with Sarge segment on Friday. You know, I don't know, whatever.
Grill Sergeant.
Yeah.
Sergeant.
The grill sergeant. Oh my God. It writes itself. Oh my God. I'm going to take a note of that. The grill sergeant. Oh man, that's funny. But anyway, yes. So tune in to the rest of the shows around the week. We've got lots more coming up. I can say I have some really cool interviews coming up. I'm just now locking in dates, but it's a return to form. We got some interviews coming up with some you've seen them, you know them. Some you might even know their name. That's saying something on this show. Because a lot of times, like, yeah, I know that guy. I've seen that guy. Yeah. But anyway, thank you, everybody. Tune in, show up, do your thing. Any final words, Angry Elf?
Shots.
Such an ass kisser. All right, guys, we'll see you guys next week. Shots.